No, you're good. For now, I'll let you know if you're echoing. You're just traveling around Florida, huh?
Yeah. Right now, for work, with his water softening company, and also with Stark, just all those middle of Florida areas where they're using well water, and then we got a home renovation out in Stark. Just
Hell
been
yeah! I'm just
bouncing
gonna
around doing
ask
my
you.
thing.
I'm gonna start asking people this before we do debates and whatnot. I have your permission. Like, we're live streaming. This is gonna be on my channel. We're already on my channel right now, but I figured I'd just start asking people. I don't want someone to be in the future like, I'm gonna sue you, or whatnot. I don't think you would,
Yeah,
but I'm just gonna start asking people.
I can understand that, bro. Definitely.
Okay, I got your permission then. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You have 100% permission to use this in a positive manner on your page. 100%. No
Absolutely. I
detriment
mean,
to character.
okay. Awesome. I'll let your character speak for yourself, man. I can't control what you say, but
Yeah.
man, I don't know what I said recently to piss you off. I thought we had a good last conversation. I thought we ended rather well, like on our conversations. We didn't agree on everything, but we did actually, agree on quite a bit of stuff. I mean, you call yourself, more on the conservative side. Where'd you go? You there? What happened? I can't see anything. Hello? Hello? Cannot see you, my guy. Cannot see you. Try leaving and coming back in. Try using the link. I cannot see you at all. Guys, we're going to have a debate here, but you probably can't see him. I just see a black screen. There you are. Were you getting a phone
Yeah,
call?
I got a phone call. Just got a job, man. Freaking congratulations to me.
Hell yeah, man. Congratulations, man. Good
Yeah,
job.
thanks, man. Thanks.
Of
So,
course.
I mean, what pissed me off about you was, I mean, we kind of had a short conversation. You called asking if I wanted to talk about it. I kind of refused. But your stance on people's reaction to Charlie Kirk, I can understand that. Being upset for the fact of people celebrating someone's death, I completely understand that. And, I don't think it's the right thing to do to be sitting here. The man was a father, he was a husband, he was a son. All of these things, like his family is grieving. So there's no point of celebrating the death of someone. But on the flip side, he definitely was hate mongering. And,
What was he
you
hate
know,
mongering? Is there anything specific you can say? Because I'd like to debunk,
okay, I'll give you the first example that comes to my head. He had a quote where he said, DIE needs to go because of the simple fact, if he gets on an airplane and he sees a black pilot, he's going to question whether or not if he's qualified for the job due to the fact of DEI, which is the most preposterous thing you could possibly say. Because for
Okay.
one,
Continue.
I,
I'll let you finish your point.
yeah, for one, I don't care what you go to college for. Your college acceptance has nothing to do with your grades. Absolutely zero. And then secondly, when it comes to being a airline pilot, you have to have like 1,000 hours in the air. You're definitely know how to fly a plane. Like, it's insane for you to say something like that. And the fact of the matter, to pinpoint the fact of it being a black male, obviously I'm gonna have some bias towards that. And then it's like, why? Why are you pinpointing the fact that if you see a black pilot, you're gonna think of him as being underqualified? Like, you're spreading hate, and it's rooted in racism. At
Okay, let
least in
me
my
talk
opinion.
about a couple things here. You said a lot of stuff, and I don't want to get into too many things until I can just break this down. First off, I want to
All
start
right.
with your first subject on saying it doesn't matter about your grades for your college acceptance. I'm going to use this particular story, but I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I do understand, people of color, black and brown, have been discriminated against. There have been, instances throughout the country's history where this has happened a lot. But to be clear, this is a fantastic story to show you. So about 10, 15, 20 years ago, my mom's friend applied for college, and a lot of people back then that were white were either getting denied to go to this specific college and whatnot. And a lot of people were putting that they were like Indian, or they were putting that they were, Hispanic, and those people were getting. For her, it seemed like her personal opinion. It seemed like they were getting accepted more. So what she decided to do was, I think she either put that she was like, African American, or she put that something like that, and she got accepted into this college. And first off, this is a great instance why race shouldn't be like part of your college application, and this kind of turns into the whole DEI thing. And so she was black, she was African American, or she put other for her race or something like that. I don't really remember if it was like another box for not white other race. Maybe sometimes they have that on there. And
Yeah.
I believe she either clicked other race or she lied and said that she was black. So she went to college. She was going to law school, and she almost got her law degree and whatnot. She was about to finish college, and then the college found out, or they found substantial evidence that
That
she
she
was
lied.
not, that she was actually just white. And they kicked her out, and they took all those 3.5, almost 4 years of college all out of her because of her race, man. Like, if you're telling me that people aren't being hired, or people aren't being accepted into college for specific races and specific groups and specific jobs, that's just like a blatant lie. Like, it's not even about if you're black or white or brown. Like, who knows? They might accept you more if you're Jewish. They might accept you more if you're this or that. But the fact is that this DEI thing. I don't know if you agree or not, but it promotes unfair. It supports unfair diversity. It basically forces your company to have diversity. Now, many people look at it in different ways. People take this as, okay, if you're in a white city, it's 98% white. Your employees should just be 2% black, because, or any other race. Otherwise, you have to kind of make it equal for the local population. But as far as I know, when there was like DEI under Joe Biden and stuff like that, it wasn't even based on any kind of statistics or percentages, and it wasn't even being about black or brown. It was just, if you're gay, if you're, trans, if you're anything like that, or even if you're like, I think special needs people should get jobs as well, but I don't think we should be forced to, put someone as a special needs job just because, you know, DEI, or I don't think people should necessarily get jobs. I mean, yes, if they're qualified, whatnot, but I mean, I have my computer right in front of me. I can probably look up all kinds of different instances where special needs people weren't doing jobs they should have been doing. Probably where, Hispanic people, white people, all kinds of different people were doing jobs they shouldn't be doing. Maybe gay white people, maybe trans white people. It doesn't really matter about the race. I can probably pull up all kinds of different articles and instances where, people got jobs specifically for their race or their sexuality, or, their diversity and inclusion, whatever you want to say. And I'm not lying about a story, man. I don't have any reason to lie. That's just an actual story, and it happens a lot of times, man. Like, there's always going to be bias and stuff like that, even if it's against the federal law. Like, if you have, like, if I was a black or brown business owner, or if I was like, something like that, maybe I just want to like hire people from my community or people that I know, and then maybe people will say, "Oh, you're racist. You're only hiring people that look like you or whatnot." Like, I don't think companies and whatnot should be forced to it. Now, it might have seemed like a little bit of a racial thing. I can understand how you feel, especially like you said, you got your own bias and whatnot. But can you agree on this one thing? Can you agree on two things? First off, would you say that true racism and true discrimination isn't something that you can just turn on and off? Like, when you hate a specific group of people, you hate them. It's not something where you can just pretend like you're nice to a group of people for like months and years and help a lot of people that are in a specific group. Like, you don't see KKK people helping anyone that are Jewish, black, brown, anything like that, because it's not something they can turn off. anyone that has real experience with real racist or real Aryan people know that Aryan Brotherhood. Don't say, I don't refer to white people as Aryan because that's ridiculous, but that's another whole debate topic.
Yeah. So this is what I can say. Now, the indoctrination of racism and the actions of being discriminated, of discriminating against people, or disenfranchising people in America, all of these things, they're not going to go away per se just by making a law. I understand that and I agree with it, but people's ideals upon a group of people can be changed. It's only if they're willing to be changed. It's going to be something that that person has to choose upon themselves. And I just want to clarify something here. When I stated that the SAT scores will not affect somebody's level to gain the comprehension of whatever they're going to be learning in school. Because a big example that a lot of people use is that due to DEI, that the SATs for blacks and Hispanic people, their score threshold is lower than it would be for whites, and there are reasonings behind that, but I'm not going to get too deep into it. At the end of the day, these people go to college, they get their education. They're obviously qualified if they graduated from the school. Like, there's no way that you're going to be able to go to a school and get a degree if you don't freaking pass your class. Now, as far as your aunt's situation, I'm sorry to say this, but she lied on her application.
I know she lied, but let's go back to the topic here. Do you think people should be
no,
accepted or rejected from college because of their race? Let me ask you that question. I know she lied.
I think
understand that
somebody
was a
should be
morally
accepted,
immoral
or
purpose. But do you think it's a moral premise
if
for colleges to ask
okay,
you
so
about your race and your ethnicity? Do you think
there's
that's
two
morally
there's
correct?
there's two ends of this sword. All right, the reason why that was put in place is so that the minority groups can be pushed out and not accepted into colleges. So I do not agree with it. But on the flip side of the coin, it's like, if you're going to have this in place, you should have some type of quotas. If your school is in a state that is 20% black, or 15% black, 20% Hispanic, whatever it may be, your school's population should reflect that. It shouldn't look like
I
all
disagree.
white.
I think it should be based on test scores, athletics, your extracurricular activity, and your academics. They should not be looking at your race
Well,
whatsoever. They shouldn't even have to meet you.
well, of
You should
course.
just send
Well,
in
of
your
course.
academic
But
resume or your athletic resume, and if they accept you, they accept you. It shouldn't be a requirement for them to know your race, your sex, even your sex.
well,
I don't want them to be discriminatory towards
I
anyone.
don't
And I
think you're
think the
listening
best
to
way
me
to
here,
do it
because
based on merit
I don't think
only.
you're listening. I don't think you're listening to me here, because I said, if you are going to ask for the race to be specified, then therefore there should be some type of quotas in place for you so that racism cannot be practiced, so that your school will look like America or whatever city, state that it is within. That is what I stated. Now, if someone is going to have shitty test scores, they shouldn't be allowed into your college. If they didn't do well in high school, they shouldn't be allowed into your college.
But
if
what
you
if you
give
have
them
to
a
meet your
placement test,
quotas? Sorry to interrupt you, but what if you have to meet your quotas
if
like you just
if you
suggested?
if you have to meet your quotas, and you're not getting enough applicants, you can obviously show that there's a paper trail of everything that you do.
So you
Okay, we
don't
got.
have to meet your quotas.
Listen, if you have a school, people are going to apply to it, my guy. People are going to apply, no matter
Yes,
what.
but don't you
If
think
you
the
are
best
not
way
getting,
to avoid racial discrimination in general is by
would be
removing,
to not discuss it at all.
not discuss it. It's not that you don't have to discuss it. It's that it should not be a question on your job application. It should not be a question on your college application, because what does race have to do with anything? It should be all based on merit and how good your application is. Like I said, your academic activities, your extracurricular activities, your school activities, your grades. Maybe you're a good D1 high school level athlete, something like that. But if you guys have any questions,
Yeah,
comments for us, drop
I
super
agree.
chats.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. If it's not a part of the application process, then you won't have to worry about hitting quotas and things of that nature. I agree with that 100%. But then again, you know, the application process has you, write what your address is. There's so many different things. What school you go to, and is looking to be discriminative towards their applicants. They're going to look at people in certain areas and say, "Hey, that's a Hispanic area. That's a black
I don't
area.
think you
Hey,
should
look
have
at
to
this
put in your
person's
address
name."
either if you want to put it like that. You shouldn't have to put any
Okay,
information in that they can discriminate you against.
okay, so you shouldn't put your name.
Your name, I mean, that's not really, that is something that is, a lot of people, some white people have, quote unquote Mexican or black names, and some black people have
Yes,
names like, I'm not going to say any because I don't want to sound crazy, but you can fill in the blanks
my name,
yourself.
my name's Todd, bro. All right, I get it, but
uh,
my mom did that for us. My mom didn't name me Jerome because she understood that on the application, it's gonna look worse than someone named Todd. And those are the practices that are within America. So you have to have something in place because people are going to do shit. It has to be in place because there have been plenty of studies shown where individuals who have black sounding names, so to speak, whether that be white, black, purple, I don't care what race or creed you are, if your name sounded black, disproportionately, they were not able to get jobs compared to people who have white sounding names.
no, I'm not
And that's a
100%
problem
sure
with
about the statistics. I haven't read about this, but tying back into
read
Charlie
up
Kirk,
into it.
I saw where he debated this, and he kind of stepped away, and a black man stood up and started debating this white man over this particular subject. And this black man had worked for many high up government positions. He's worked for senators. He had like some of the, I don't even remember his name, and I don't want to pull something out of my ass, but he had one of he himself said he had one of the blackest names he's ever heard before, and he said he's worked for the governor, he's worked for senators, he's worked for high level political organizations. Now, I'm not saying there's not discrimination, but saying like it's impossible to get a job, yada yada, because you have a black name, I think is a bit ridiculous. And not to mention, you can legally change
But
your
I'm not.
name. I'm not saying you should change your name. It shouldn't be a
But
requirement. That's
I'm not. For one,
ridiculous. But you could.
I hate to. I hate to like interrupt you, but like I'm never saying that it's impossible for a black man to get a job or someone with a black sounding name. What I'm stating is that it's different for them compared to others of racism. That is what I'm stating. Now,
But what
is
about
it
high
possible
level
for a
black
guy?
owned companies? What about, all these black owned companies and high ranking billionaire black men that, very
They
much
should
would
have.
like
They should
black
have
people on their
quotas.
team?
Yes, of course, but they should also have quotas to make sure that they have white people as well, so that they
No,
cannot
man. I
practice
believe in
discriminatory.
free enterprise. I don't think people should. And also, here's another question tying back into it. Would you at least admit, maybe you can say it's the minority of people. Would you at least admit a small population of people? We can say a small population, but I truly believe it is like, a medium to a moderate number. But can we at least agree, at least a small percentage of these DEI hires, or maybe they do have a degree, maybe they do have work experience, but maybe they're not as qualified as some of the other applicants, and just because they're trying to meet a quota or just because they're trying to meet a DEI standard under Joe Biden under the last presidency, that they might have been hired when there was either more qualified people or more experienced people, or maybe they just had a college degree and weren't really experienced at all. They just needed a DEI kind of position. Would you at
I
least admit a
so
small percentage of them were either unqualified or there's most likely better applicants? It doesn't matter about the whole
is,
black thing. It doesn't
is there
matter about
is there a
race, skin color.
possibility?
It can be
Is,
trans, gay. That all fits under it.
is there a possibility of that happening? Of course, 100%. But that doesn't take away from the simple fact that before these practices were in place, that it doesn't matter how qualified these individuals were, they weren't getting a job. You understand? So why take
I've
away
never seen
something
an
that is
instance of
helping a
that, to be
dis?
honest with you.
Why are you serious?
I mean, there's probably been
You've
people
never.
sued over it, but I haven't frequently seen like personal
So
instances of this.
why do you think these practices have been put in place if that wasn't happening?
I mean, there's already laws. Like, I mean, first
Somebody
off, there's
somebody just
already
got
laws about job hiring discrimination. So before this whole DEI thing, there is already laws about hiring because of discriminatory practices.
And for what
which
purpose?
Basically did nothing.
For what purpose, though? Why were they put in place? Laws aren't just written just to be wrote.
No, I'm saying,
like,
I know, but they had this
it's
way
a cause and
beforehand.
effect kind of thing.
No, I understand, but like I said, there was already, think about this. There was already laws about it based on race, sexuality, gender. There's already laws on this. So why did we need DEI? What does that really focus on? Does that really focus on merit? Do you really think a company owner is going to take someone, a black man that has 20 years of experience, that has a Harvard degree, that has all these, high level rankings, and just, maybe they will, but the majority of rich men, doesn't matter if they're black, white, Mexican, if they see someone that's extremely highly qualified, if you're so highly qualified, I really do believe there's just a point to where 90% of people won't say no to you. Pretty much. I mean, that's just coming from my perspective. We don't have the same perspectives, obviously.
Yeah, but your perspective is 100% skewed without a doubt, bro. Like, without a doubt. All right. Listen, I work for. I'm not gonna name the company, okay? I'm not gonna name them because I care dearly about the owner. He did a great job in helping me in my life, but they would hire black people to work in their kitchen, but not on their floor. Me, myself, I could not get a job on the floor. I had to apply to get into the kitchen. I became friends with the owner. I showed my work ethic. I showed my knowledge. You will be surprised how many times the motherfuckers would say, "Oh, you're so well spoken," because they expect of me to be someone who isn't educated. Now, you cannot sit here and tell me that within this country that there has not been multiple practices. Our history is riddled with discrimination against blacks, whether that be Jim Crow laws, whether that be redlining, whether that be to this day the incarceration rate and policing of black neighborhoods. You cannot you need to open your eyes to that perspective. You're a very smart guy. You don't seem like a racist individual. It's just you're indoctrinated in a society of people who try to deny the fact that there is a vitriol against black people within this country. And
I'm not
sorry
saying
to say
there's
that
not.
to
I
you.
never said there wasn't. I understand that some people are racist, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you the majority of the country is racist. Just not from what I've personally, dealt with people and talked with people and asked them what they think about this type of person, this type of person. But I want to go back to your first talking point here. You said that they told you speak well. You do speak very well.
Yes.
But I'm not just talking about, blacks or anything like that. I'm talking about every single group of people that grew up either in a single family household, or they grew up in a a little bit poorer area, or they grew up with just their dad or their mom, whatever it is. And you're from Florida, so you know exactly what I'm talking about, especially if you remember the school system back in the day. Can you tell me that the majority of these people spoke well, know how to properly present themselves? And like I said, it's not a black thing. It's mostly anyone that comes from these kinds of environments, especially in Florida. There's a lot of hood shit going on. That's the only way I'm going to put it. But do you think that these people know how to properly represent themselves and properly talk in a conversation, especially nowadays, man?
So that's based with all of this is based within your stance, whatever you like. Like, for me, I know plenty of extremely smart and people who are adaptable, who don't speak so to speak perfect English, but you understand what they're saying. They can put two and two
No,
together.
100%.
They're
I
educated
100% agree
people.
with what you're
You
saying.
know, it just because somebody, like, if somebody comes from India, they're not, and they learn how to speak English, they're not going to speak it the same way you do. You know what I'm saying? They're going to speak it a different way. Like, all of these things have nothing to do with a person's ability to do a job, or to, for that matter, learn. Like, I agree with what you're saying when it comes to the actual identity of someone's race in any application whatsoever, unless it's dealing with health. Because obviously some people are more prone to different things based on their
Yeah,
race.
absolutely, that's true. But let's go back to the subject
So
again. You said certain people, the people come from India, whatever. These people are not from India, my guy. We're both from Florida. We know how people in Florida talk. They say jit that, whatever, whatever. What's up, jit? How you
yeah,
doing, jit? Et cetera, et cetera.
hmm
If you go into a workplace, you're talking like street slang. I don't think they're going to take you too seriously. And I've seen some of these guys, they do it. It doesn't matter if they're black. I've seen white guys do it. I've seen Mexican guys do it. I've seen black guys do it. If you're talking like that, like the same instance, let's stop talking about like the language and how they talk for a second. It's like this, man. If you go into a job interview for like a $1 million job, let's just say it's some crazy job, it's going to pay you $1 million a year. Who are they going to hire? The guy that comes in with a dress shirt and a suit jacket, or are they going to hire the guy that comes in with a t-shirt with holes in it? Now, I have had this discussion before. People will scream at the top of their lungs, oh, you have the right to dress however you want. They should judge you by your character and your application. But unfortunately, that's not the truth of the world. It's about how you present yourself, and it's about how well you talk. And it seems like your family raised you right because you know how to talk very well. You know how to articulate yourself. You know how to debate more better than 85 to 90% of these people out here. But yeah, that's right. You got to dress for success.
Listen. I agree that if you're looking to get a high paying job, at some Fortune 500 company, come in dress well. Of course, that's gonna boost your ability to get hired. But listen, you just said we're in Florida, right? A lot of these places in shorts and flip flops, and your resume speaks for itself. That should be what the reason why you hire someone based on their qualifications.
Absolutely, but that's not the truth of the
arguing.
world.
Like if somebody walks into my place, because I hire people and they have holes in their shirt, I'm gonna say, man, this person needs a break. Let me sit down and talk to them and pick their brain. You understand?
Yeah, but me and
That's
you
my way
are
of
more
thinking.
like the average Joe. I'm talking about like the guy that doesn't really care about people. Like, he just wants the best results for his company. He wants the smartest, most intelligent workers. I'm just talking about the majority of people. Me and you are different. We're different. We both do the same thing. I would try to hear them out. I would try to hear their story. I would try to hear what they're saying. But the truth is, at least all the experiences I have, most of the places that I ever got hired at, it was. I mean, yes, I'm very good at talking as well and explaining stuff and stuff like that. But the truth is, I really do believe, the reason that I got brought into the team was because everyone else came in, t-shirts and flip flops, and I came in wearing a dress shirt or a dress shirt and a suit jacket, and they looked at me and they didn't even. I've asked the same people that went into the same job interview. Some of them weren't white. A lot of them were all kinds of different races, and I compared our interviews and such, and for me, it seems like just by the way I was dressed, just as my personal experience, just by the way I was dressed, that they didn't ask me as much questions as they asked, the
yeah,
white or the Hispanic guy that was wearing t-shirts and flip-flops. It seems like they
t-shirt.
asked them more questions than me. They just saw how I was dressed and how I talked, and they're like, okay, you're much more presentable, you dress better, you talk better, your application is good, so we're not going to ask you too many questions. You're on the team. But for them, they got hit with 100 times more questions. They had a 2-hour interview. My interview was like 20 minutes, and they said you're hired.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that
Yeah.
kind folk like me and you would hire people and get to know their story and whatnot. But the majority of business owners are millionaires, and they've met a lot of scummy people throughout their lives, just like me. And I wouldn't really want to hire someone necessarily unless they had a really good story. They had a really good like if they're dressed like shit, they better have a good mouthpiece. That's all I'm gonna say. They better have a good story and they better have a good mouthpiece. Because if they don't have that, then
Exactly. Listen, man. Have you ever seen the movie Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith?
no.
So there's a scene in the movie, and this is based on a true story. He was painting his house. His wife ended up like running away. He ends up having to run all these errands, and he has an interview that he has to go to, and he makes it to the interview on time, like the very last minute, but he's still. And he just says, "Listen, I am a hard worker. I will learn anything that you put in front of me. Like I've done your processes. Like give me a chance. I promise that I'll give you what you're looking for." And he was hired because of his showing that he has drive. Like I don't care if a guy walks into my place with a suit and tie and he's fucking dumb as a bag of rocks, and I got a guy standing right next to him and he has holes in his shirt and it's stained and he's just down on hard times. Like I can understand.
You're breaking up a little bit. I think you're going through a bad connection area. No, it's okay. It's okay. No, I understand what you're saying. I heard a bit what you're saying. I understand. I'm not saying it's impossible.
Now
I'm not saying you're instantly disqualified from the job. I'm just saying if you want a higher overall chance. And of course, if you dress, that's not the only thing you have to do to get the job. Just because you're dressed nice, don't expect to get the job. You also have to answer all the interview questions correctly. And just because especially if you're doing like a job like construction or, something like that, I don't know, maybe you're working in a kitchen or maybe you're doing some kind of manual labor job, then especially, yeah, man, that's not the kind of job you really need to, that's not the type of job they really care about how you're dressed. But would it help better if you were dressed more? I truly believe so. Yeah, if you're dressed better, I truly believe it would help so.
I actually have a really good example for you, and this is a personal story and very recent. I applied for a assistant general manager position at this Italian restaurant. I come in, I'm always dressed to the nine. Everywhere I go, like I'm leaving the job site. As you can see, it's probably not the best representation, but wherever I go, I'm suited up every single time. And I walk in, and there's a guy who has on a t-shirt in the slacks. And I sit down and ask him, "Hey, what position are you applying for?" He tells me the same as me. I had more experience than him. I was I was recently employed at a closer time than he was, and yet he got the job and I didn't. And like the only thing I could think was the reasoning was I was black. To be honest, like
Not
I
the
have
fact that he
12
was
years of
dressed better than
managerial
you,
experience.
or were you dressed better than him?
No, I was dressed way better than him. Okay, I came in a suit. He was in a t-shirt and slacks.
I don't know. You
All
don't
right,
know his story either. You don't know if he knows the owner or if he's friends with someone.
but that's the point right there. That's why
I
DEI
mean, you
needs to
don't
be in
know if it
place,
was a
especially
racial
when it
thing,
comes to
man. It's
school.
not right to. It's not right to. First off, it's
Well,
not right to give yourself a victim mentality. Yada yada yada. It's not right to say, "Oh, I didn't get the job because of this or that." Man, that's just like that's not a good mentality to have, in my personal opinion. And also, you don't know if he
and
knows
I,
the
I
owner or if he knows the wife's owner, or you don't know his story or his background. It's not like you were sitting right next to him in his interview. I kind of doubt that. But if you guys have any questions or comments, anything you want to bring up, talk about, you can drop some super chats. We almost got 500 people in here. White people lose their
I mean,
jobs to
so
other white people too. Is that some kind of discrimination?
listen, I understand. I understand that that's definitely happening. But bro, like you're not opening your mind here. All right.
No, I understand. There's
What
racist
we're what,
individuals. Trust me, I've
what
seen
we're
them
speaking
before.
on right now. What we're speaking on right now is DEI, right? And your thing you just brought up is you don't know if this guy knows the owner or if he knows somebody who works there and that's how he got the job. That is the exact practices, which is why we have DEI, because of nepotism, because of people wanting to
So
hire
you
people
should
who
you
look
should be
like them.
forced to be hired, even though he's known this guy for 20 years. He can
No,
trust him with his life.
no, I should not be hired over him just because I'm black. I should be hired over him because I have more experience than him. I have been employed more recently than him. And just speaking to him, I knew I was smarter than him.
Well, first
So
off, that's all
I'm
your
better
opinions. I'm
qualified
not
for
trying
the
to say
job.
you're not smart, but that's all your opinions. Second off, do you even know his
Yes, but sir, if
qualifications? Do you know his story? Do you know
I
if he
said
knows
that,
being?
I
And
sat
what
there
about
and I
this?
asked him,
What if he had intelligence and how you dress and how you speak? I hate to say this, it's kind of unfair, but that's not the main thing that can get you a job. If you know the owner of a place, you have another thing that employers look for is a level of trust. I'm sure you agree. If you have a level of pre-established trust with the owner, for 10 or 20 years, that can be a very viable reason why the employer should be hiring someone else. It's not always about
But
intelligence.
how is it? How are you going to change your? But you're changing your argument. You just went from saying that it should be based on merit and the capabilities of
Trust
somebody,
is a merit.
and I'm telling you,
How trustworthy you are, your integrity is definitely merit. This ties into your integrity.
Okay,
This
sir.
is part of your merit.
Okay, sir. But at the end of the day, I told you I had a conversation with this guy. I've been managing for 12 years. He had been managing for 3. All right. Off the bat, I have more experience than him. I have a hospitality degree. He did not. Based on that alone, I'm more qualified than him. But I didn't get the job.
I understand you're beating him in education and experience, but like I said, a huge thing is, and at the end of the day, don't you believe in a free market? If anyone believes in free market, think about this: if you have a company, how would you feel if the government came along and said, "Oh, you need to hire a bunch of white boys. You can't have your friends in here working for you. You got to hire a bunch of white boys." Like, I'm sure that would piss you off.
Well, first and foremost, DEI doesn't apply to companies that have less than 100 employees.
Okay,
so if you have 100
I don't know
employees
about that.
and they're all white, yeah, go ahead, look it up. If you have 100 employees and they're all white, there's a problem there. That makes no sense.
Let me ask you an honest question here. Would you rather have a team of 100 people? Let me ask you a question here. Would you rather have a team of 100 close friends that you knew all your life, or would you rather hire a bunch of strangers to work for you because the government forces you to?
I rather have strangers. Not necessarily what the government forced me to do. You want to know why? And this is coming from someone who manages
people that you disagree with or people that would snake you out. I'm talking about 100 loyal friends or family that would never do you wrong. They're 100% educated. They all got degrees.
It don't work that way, bro.
They all got 12 years of experience.
It don't work that way.
I'm giving you a dream scenario because for some people it does work that way.
100? Absolutely not. But one thing that I can say in my experience in life, I've gotten 6 of my friends jobs to work with me. Only one of them did a good job.
Okay, but I'm saying if it was a perfect scenario.
But I mean, I wish these perfect scenarios happened in every day at every single company, because that's not the case.
Wait, let's sit here and wait. If there wasn't DEI and you had a small company of 6 people, would you hire a white person? Be honest. You don't have to lie.
Of course, I'm going to hire a white person if they're qualified to come. If they came in and they applied and they're one of the most qualified
they're not qualified, you're not going to hire them.
Why would I hire somebody who I don't see to be qualified to do the job?
So that's your personal opinion. Just like they can say that they have a level of integrity and trust and character and what was the first word that we used? A level of merit that you don't have. And integrity can tie into merit. So that can basically, you're saying that you want to turn away whoever you want to turn away. That's basically what you just told me. You said, "Oh, I want to be the judge of their character and if they have the qualifications for my company." But at the same time, you want DEI, which places forcing people to hire people based on their race or ethnicity, and they have to meet certain quotas, et cetera, et cetera. But you're saying you want to be the judge of their character. You want to be the judge for their qualifications, but at the same time, you want the government to force companies to hire black and brown people.
This is my thing. Where is it in this world if I get 100 people that of every race that I'm not going to find qualified people? Like, this is insane. It's insane.
I mean, I can find a qualified black guy to do a job. That can be rocket scientists and whatnot.
Okay, I understand that there's only a certain amount of people, but guess what? They're all different races. It's not all one race. And if we're speaking about these high-paying jobs, these jobs that of engineers these jobs of scientists, of rocket scientists, as a matter of fact, you're going to find a lot more success going to India and Africa to get these individuals because their level of study is so much better.
Weren't we the first
So
one to go to the moon? Why
just,
do we need to go to India and Africa? Africa hasn't been to the moon yet.
oh my God. It's called resources, sir. Resources.
If they had so many resources, why are they lacking infrastructure? They've been given. This is a whole nother
Oh
debate
my
for you,
God.
but
See
I
now,
don't know about the resources.
now we're going down a different route. So you want to sit here and tell
I
me
don't
that
believe what
in
resources they
Africa that
have.
these
They're lacking in education and and resources. That's why we're constantly helping these countries out and letting
no,
them
they're
immigrate
lacking
to America.
they're lacking in infrastructure. They lack infrastructure. They have great schools. They have great schools,
Why
sir.
didn't you go to school
They
in
don't
Africa
have
then? It's a lot
infrastructure
cheaper. And India is
because
also a
I grew up
shithole.
in America. Because I grew up in America, sir, and I was able to get funding to go to. Not from Africa. So,
Wait,
I mean,
Africa
if you
funded
look
you
at
to go to
any
school in
African
America?
country,
Okay. You
just
cut out
like
for a
you,
second, I
every
think.
single last American citizen can get student loans.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking
But
about? But
I'm
anyways,
still
the
struggling to figure
GDP
out
of
how
America.
Africa has so much intelligence and so much great schools, but they're not really producing much. They're not really creating much. They're not really bringing much value or economy
All
into the
right, dude.
society.
Right now, if you were to take all the countries in Africa, they will become the fourth highest. All right, there's plenty of resources out there. All right,
That may be
there's a
true, but
lot.
the
Now the
corruption,
problem with
the corrupt leaders
now the
control
problem
99%
with
of it.
exactly.
Sorry, you're cutting out again.
The coups that have happened in America are due to America.
I don't
Do you
believe
not
that at
know this?
all, but I do know a couple of them were because of America, but not all of them. I can pull up statistics if you want
Well,
on it.
you definitely know that Europe basically took over Africa,
That was a couple
overthrew
hundred years
everything,
ago, but
started
yeah.
the international. Okay, all right. So if somebody was to come to America and rip us of all of our leadership, do you think that we will be right back to where we are today in 200 years? Absolutely not. It's
I
going to
do,
take
yeah.
time.
I do. It's happened in other countries before.
So this is
Countries
my
have
thing, man.
gone from communism. They've had communist leaders ripped out of their country. They've had, entire economic structures changed. And 20 or
This
30
is my.
years ago, they have a
You want to
growing capitalist country.
look up, since you like to look up on your computer, right? This is what I want you to look up. In university, look that up, and
But
that will
they're
prove
not the
my
same
point.
kind of universities. And we just
No, I'm
talking about
speaking
how
of.
corruption is
I'm, I'm talking about Africans who come to America for school,
okay. No, I believe that because they get
exchange
American
students.
education, they get American infrastructure, and they get Americans help. I absolutely
Okay,
believe. I'm not saying they're not smart.
okay.
I'm just
Now,
saying the
if
education system
they
is
weren't
better.
educated, if they weren't smart, if they weren't educated when they came to America and went to the same schools as Americans, they will perform worse. But they don't.
I don't believe that. If you work
They
hard, you can get your
look it
education bumping up
look
and
it up,
higher than everyone else's. It's just all about work ethic.
dude. Elon has come out and said this. He is much rather hire somebody from Africa, India, China,
Well,
Asia,
why are most
way
of his
over an
employees from
American.
America then? I never heard him say that. Why are
No,
most of his
they're
employees American?
no, they're in America.
They're
They're in
legal American
America. They're
citizens.
not American.
Well, neither is he.
Yeah, but they're not from America. They're not from America.
Ooh, how to blow my nose. I'm a bit sick.
You see what I'm saying? They're not from America.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm not saying that they're not smart.
You're getting your ass
You're
kicked, by the way.
Sorry?
You're getting your ass kicked in this debate.
I mean, I thought I won pretty well on the DEI thing, but now we're going on to the next subject. We're talking about, African students coming to America, yada yada. I mean, we can compare any of the statistics on the education levels. Okay, let me ask you. We can compare. I mean, I'd have to pull up some statistics, but we can compare how smart intelligence. Let's look up African education versus American education. Let's start with that. And no, I don't believe that they get higher
schools in the world
than Americans because their education in Africa was so good. It's because they have very strong African work ethic.
That's what I'm talking about. Their ability
the point you were making
learn.
is that they have better general education in Africa.
What I stated is that the people from Africa perform better. That is what I'm speaking on.
I never disagreed with you on that. I agree.
But that's what I'm speaking on. The best schools are in America, hands down.
But
everyone
it's not
knows
just Africans. It's Indians, Chinese. It's any immigrant that comes to America legally.
All of them. All of them.
It's because they all work exceptionally hard. It's nothing to do with their country's.
Okay, so why is it a problem to have a quota to hire these people? Because before it was hard for them to come to this country and get jobs.
Because you said you wouldn't want a quota. You stated previously before you'd like to judge these people on their academics and judge these people on if they're qualified. You said you want to hire them based on their qualifications and if you figured that they would actually be good for the job. And now you're saying, wait, don't you think it's racist?
I did say that, but I did not say
their race?
But I never said I did not want quotas. Don't twist my words. I did say that I will hire, you asked me, would I hire a white man in a company of 6 people? And I responded with, if he had the proper qualifications and he was able to do the job and he was the most qualified individual.
And then I asked you if you think he had the proper qualifications. You're proving my point again. You're saying you want to be the judge of character.
If I think he has the qualifications, how would I know that unless I sit down and
You're making my point. You're going to be the judge. You're going to be the judge of character for your own business, not the government. You want to be the judge of character for your own business, correct?
What I'm stating to you is this. Once again, I'm going to say it again, even slower for you. I'm going to hire somebody based on whether or not they're able to do the job. It doesn't matter their race.
Okay, then in that circumstance, you shouldn't be basically forced to, hire people based on their race.
But see the difference. No, I'm not.
Wait, is hiring people based on their race racist?
I'm not agreeing with you because what you're stating is that DEI is a problem because it's forcing people to hire somebody based on their race. But that's not the case. The fact of the matter is giving them a chance to get the job without factoring the fact that they have a race. And if you're not going to do that, now DEI comes in and forces you to have a quota put in. If you go ahead and hire based on merit alone, you'll be able to have a diverse working staff. It's going to happen because you're looking for the best.
Would you like to talk about how this quota for job hiring quite literally fits the definition of racist itself? I mean, I have the definition of racist right here. It's characterized by showing I'm sick.
Prejudice.
Discrimination against another person on the bias of their membership or particular racial or ethnic group.
Okay. But why is it there?
Sorry?
Why are we doing DEI again?
Because you think that
I love when people say this. I love when people say this. Act of counter racism. It's not.
But there's already laws in place for counter racism. It's not counter racism. If it was counter racism, that would be. So if it's not working, we should force people to hire unqualified Black and brown people to meet the quotas.
If the people are refusing to hire qualified individuals, then yes. If we put if you put a new sink in your kitchen and it doesn't turn on hot water, you're going to get a new fucking sink, right? Or you're going to check your water heater. You're not just going to say, well, I got a new one already, and it doesn't work. Because they're poor. Why? I don't care what
Here's another
color
issue.
you are.
Here's
Because that
another
is
issue.
because that's the issue. That's the issue that lies in America
No,
today. Is
here's
that
another issue.
poor
If you
whites
live
are
in an
having it.
area where, you know, there's only a certain amount of engineers and they all happen to be white or Indian, and the quotas say you got to hire black people, then what are you going to do? You're not going to meet the government quotas. And also, this whole thing is just promoting racism.
Do you understand? Do you understand that if you do not have, because I've actually ran companies, if you do not have the proper quota set, which is based on 1% of the actual American population or within your city, that is when you will be audited, and that's when you can get in
Okay,
trouble.
there's cities that are
That is
probably
when it happens.
damn near 100% white, or there's probably cities that
Okay,
are damn near 100% black. So they can't fit in
yes.
those government quotas. What do you do?
So if your city is
And there's only a
99%
certain
black,
amount of engineers. So then what do you
if
do?
your city if your city is
99% white and a small percentage of them are engineers. What do you do?
you put out courses to train people to become engineers,
Oh, so
on
now
the job
now
training.
the companies are forced to spend money on people they don't even know to hire them in their
So hold on.
companies. Just
So
for
if they're not,
racial
this is my thing.
reasons. Now that's
Understand this,
extremely
because
racist.
you got
That's
you got to
extremely
allow me.
prejudiced.
How is that racist?
Because a black man
How?
should not be forced to pay for a white man to get trained and to join his company. How is that not racist?
How is that racist? If you
Because that's
have
unfair to
black
the
people,
business owner.
so if you have black people in your city,
What if they don't want to
99%,
become engineers?
then go do something else.
So you
What are you
can't have an
talking about?
engineering business? No black people want to become engineers.
So
You own an
so
engineering
so
business.
what do you call a free
99%,
market?
huh?
What do you call a free market?
So what
Like,
do you
you're
want me to
asking
do?
for a free
Fly in
market.
black people from California, buy them housing to
No,
live
you
there?
fucking hire the engineers that are in your city. And if it's
Okay, it's a
99.9%,
99%
okay,
white city.
sir, let me finish. If you're saying that the city is 99% fucking white, your company should be 99% white, obviously. There's not going to be an issue with finding one fucking black guy who's an
Okay,
engineer.
it's 100% white engineers in your city. 100% white engineers. What do you do?
You fucking put a recruit out. What are you talking
There's
about?
no people that are black engineers. What do you do?
Why would that be a thing?
Or what if there is one black engineer? He's completely unexperienced, but there's a white man who has 20 years of experience, but your DEI quota says you can't hire the white man with 20 years of experience. You got to hire the black man. Is that not racist? I mean, this was happening under Joe Biden's America. This is still happening in California. And
A one city, he's getting hired. Like, that makes no
it
fucking
does make sense.
sense.
There's cities in
Like,
America
I'm
where it's
sorry, bro.
100%, almost 100% white, and there's probably 100% plumbers or engineers that are
Okay,
white.
and if it's, because that makes sense. Everyone's white.
So
Why
why
would
do we
you
have
have
to
to
hire,
fill the
for
quota?
instance, when there's a low population or a certain amount of people, say there's, maybe 2 or 3 black engineers that just got out of college, and you have this really
Uh-huh.
sophisticated engineering company. It's really high ranking. This is not for beginners. This company has been around for 100
Uh-huh.
years. There's 3 white applicants. They all have 20 years experience. There's no black employees, but 3 black people with no experience, with college degrees, that cannot do the job whatsoever. You're telling me they should be hired, basically, under DEI.
So, but this is where your argument is skewed. How the fuck would they not have any skills if they just went to college
Just
and
because you
learned how
have
to
a
do it?
degree does not mean you can do a job. Like, are we going to all agree here? I mean, comment down below. Let me know. Does a degree
So,
instantly make you an
so
engineer? Does having a doctorate degree instantly make you a doctor? Or do you have to go to a residency training, just like you have to go to residency trainings with other kinds of jobs and learn some hard physical skills. Just reading out of a book
And you know
does
that, and
not make you an
you know
instant
all of that.
doctor
Do
or a
you
lawyer.
understand that all of these jobs that you're talking of, where there are residencies, that's a part of their schooling? You understand that,
It's
right?
not all of them. I don't know about engineers.
And
It's not all
like
of them. I mean, I can pull up
like
examples pretty
you're
quickly.
trying to peddle this thing, and I agree with you.
No,
It would
because you
be
don't want to
very.
admit it. You don't want to admit that people that
Listen,
are very new to the job market would be prioritized over people that have been working for 20 years, which is indeed facts. Oh, so the black man should be hired even though he has no experience.
and they're new. Why do you not want to hire them?
It's not that I don't want to hire them. It's that another man has 20 years. Say that we're working on, I don't know, what the fuck do engineers work on? Say that we're working on some complex pipeline or some shit. And all
And
these
you're
engineers
telling me
have built pipelines and have experience building complex engineering pipelines that these kinds of sophisticated infrastructure plans, they, to actually work, they take years of experience of writing these things out, drawing these things. And for someone to actually successfully do it, they need multiple experience. Let's pretend for a second that there is no residency
well, for
program,
one,
that these
for
people
one,
are
for
fresh
one,
out of
if
college.
you won't be able to get the job, that particular job, as somebody coming fresh out of college, because you won't have the proper certification for it. You know, you have, like, in any field, when it comes down to building things out, you need to become a general contractor within that
That
field.
was just a broad
So
example. Let's just pretend they have all the qualifications, but they don't have the actual experience of mapping things out. They don't have the actual experience of
I would
making
want to,
big
as I
cities run
said,
and work.
as I've already stated, I would want to hire the white guys 100%. But if the government is telling me that I need to hire these black individuals so that I can meet quotas, I don't see what the issue with it is, because for one, these people are minorities. It's going to be harder for them off rip just to live. Why? And this is, you're asking a
So
black man
basically,
this,
you do
so you're going to get
concede.
the answer.
You do concede
You're
to
going to
my
get the,
point, but because you can relate to them, and you can relate to them yourself. You can feel their struggle. That's a reason why you would give them privilege over another class of people, because you can relate to them. But you would hire the white man if the government allowed you to.
yes, 100%.
So
But if the
you
government's
have
telling me, and it's a law, yes, I might feel
you
that,
have
hey, it's unfair.
conceded to the fact that DEI is not a substantial business, idea. That's because we should be hiring
No,
people with merit. You just
no,
agreed you rather hire people
guess
with
what?
merit
Because when you
other
flip
than
the
your
coin,
personal preference.
my guy, there are people who aren't me in this world who will hire based on race, and
Yeah,
it's
but
a
do you think that's the
proven.
majority of
But
people?
it's,
Because if you
listen,
do, I would argue
yes,
that's the victim
because it's
mentality.
been proven. It's been proven.
What
It's a
studies
proven
has it been
fact.
proven?
I don't need to have a
So
study
you
to know
think
that America was,
90% of America is racist? That's what you're pointing out here.
sir.
You
Do
think
not
all
take
white
what I'm
people are
saying.
racist?
No, I didn't. When did I say that?
You
When did I
said that it's
say
been
that?
proven that they don't want to hire people of color.
I said that in America, that it's been proven that people of color have a hard time getting a
Proven.
job. In the
I
past,
said that
it has been
happens
proven.
sometimes. But the same
No,
thing
it
can happen to
happened
me.
a lot.
Just because I'm white
So,
doesn't
do you mean
mean,
to tell me?
a black
Do you
business
mean to
owner
tell me?
wouldn't discriminate against me.
And that's the truth, and that's why. That's my point. You're
No, but if I'm
making
not
my
qualified, I
point.
shouldn't be forced to get the job and work with the black business owner. That's
But
my
if you
point.
are,
Just having a
it'll be
degree
wrong.
does not mean you're more
But if you
qualified than the next
are,
man.
but sir, But sir, if you are qualified and you're a white man and you're discriminated against by a black person,
Okay,
that is wrong.
qualified. If the black person has 20 years of experience and I have 1 year of experience, then they should be hired instead of me. It should not be
No,
based
sir.
on
No.
DEI. You should be able to
No.
hire who you
No.
want. It should be a free
No.
market
No.
system. The government should not be
Yes,
getting in
it
our
should be.
business.
It should be. If there was a perfect world, people in power, dude, fucking the civil rights movement was less than fucking 70 years ago. There are people alive to this day. And guess what? The older you are, the more you work in a company, guess what? That's when you gain and you move up. So if you go ahead and remove this thing, this institution, America, and actually build for themselves, you're only harming America by doing so. Because
You've
now
conceded to
there are
every
all of
single
these.
point I've made except your own personal
I am not.
experiences and
No,
beliefs
sir.
and
I am not conceding to your
connection with
points.
the
I
black
am painting.
community.
I am not conceding to your point, sir. I am simply agreeing with things that you are saying, but I am also allowing you to have a broader perspective when
No, I'm
I agree
understanding
with
your
you.
perspective, but you're
If you're
literally
gonna
agreeing
say
with everything
if you're
I'm
gonna
saying.
say no,
The only thing
not
that you're
because what
disagreeing
you are
with is
saying
that
is
you're
that
saying that the government should force people to hire black and brown people.
what I am saying is that the government should have a system of making sure that companies will not practice discriminative actions against disenfranchised people.
Okay, I agree
That
with you
does
there,
not
but I don't
pertain,
think DEI is the answer.
sir, that does not pertain. Yes, you're probably right. DEI may not be the answer, but that does not mean that we pull
So
this away,
boom, we're
something that has
conceding
helped
to all the points
hundreds,
here.
sir. DEI might not be the perfect thing, might not be the perfect thing. It's not the perfect system. I'm not stating that. But what I'm saying is also on top of that is that it's been proven that this thing is necessary in this country. It is necessary. And if you
It's
pull
not
it
necessary.
away,
That's
it
not
is
equal opportunity. That is racism. That's not equal opportunity.
before it was here, equal opportunity was not there for blacks. It was
Nothing
not
has
there for
changed.
Hispanics.
Wait. Final point. Has any,
Are
then
you
we can move
serious?
on. Has
Are you
anything
serious?
changed
No.
since under Joe Biden with DEI? Has anything changed? He went blank, guys. He went blank. He's frozen now. If you guys have any questions, comments, drop some super chats. Just let me know if you have any questions for him. Just drop some super chats. I agree with you, Leon. Are you back? Well, I can look up some things about that right now. I'm not 100% about that. Let me look it up real quick. I don't believe that's true, but that wasn't going to be my next talking point. R.I.P. Charles. Yeah, we should talk about Charlie Kirk after this. But I just want to ask my last point, but I need to first look up when DEI was invented. So just give me one moment. You're telling me it was invented in 1960? I don't believe that's true. Let's look it up. Um, it was not really implemented in the corporations widely. You there?
She's good.
Oh,
She's good.
sorry.
She's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm sorry, dude. Just got
That's
home. My
okay.
neighbor's saying hi.
So, to point out your fact, it was part of the Civil Rights Act in 1964. They had some very, very, very basic DEI hiring. It was not required by the government. It was not required by anything. A surge of widespread corporate implementation. Fuck that word. Whatever. My throat's all fucked up, my guy.
Implementation.
It's been a long day.
Implementation.
Yeah.
I got you.
Around 2020, after the murder of George Floyd, that's when DEI started to take off. That's when companies started to push it. That was basically under President Joe Biden. That was the very couple last months of Trump's term.
George Floyd happened during Trump.
Yeah, I know. I said it was the last couple months of Trump's term. But
All
then the
right.
widespread implement, oh, fuck. Say the
Implementation. I
word
got you,
again.
bro. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Implementation. I got you.
Yeah, that word. That it took mostly under Joe Biden, and I can look up some things about how he passed more DEI things. But do you think it got better for the black or brown community under Joe Biden's DEI hiring practices? Yes or no? And if so, how so?
For one, I'm going to say this again. DEI's inception was in the 1960s.
Yes,
All
but I
right.
just researched it. It was not widely spread, and it was not a widely
Companies,
used
companies,
corporation practice. It was not
corporations,
widely used in corporations.
corporations were the ones who made the decision to start implementing it into their into their workforce. All right. Right. That's
Yep.
what you just stated. Right. So
Yep.
where is this Joe Biden thing coming from?
Well, let me see.
And
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here's the information. New reports show a staggering amount spent by the Joe Biden administration on DEI. Over $128 million was spent on hundreds of grants aiming
for
towards
schools,
promoting DEI.
for schools, for schools.
Hold on, let me read the whole article. I believe these are business grants, but let me read the whole article. I don't see anything about it saying schools, but I'll look further. Let me look into it more. I still don't see anything saying it was schools.
I didn't
Let's
hear you
see.
say anything about company grants either. It just stated grants.
Here we go. House.gov says $1 billion spending spree for DEI in schools. Do you think that's helped or hurt things? Have you noticed anything? Okay, here's another great point. If they're the most educated, why are they the lowest earning? Why are they the lowest earning in America then? Okay, then why is the white woman that's, quote unquote, less educated making more money than them if they're the most educated in America? Or what about the
Uh,
Mexican woman?
I mean, you could just DEI that answer yourself.
Oh, okay, DEI. So there you go.
You-
It's because of DEI.
that bro, just that needs to be DEI. That's it. Because does that seem fair to
I
you?
mean,
What
there's
does
other.
that What does that mean?
I mean, no, brother, because I have things to say about that. There's a new study that came out a couple months ago. It said now people with bachelor's degrees have the same unemployment rate as people with no bachelor's degrees. So that's another whole other study, but
Hmm.
that's neither here nor there. But that is an article that has came out a couple months ago.
I mean, I see benefits. That's all I'm saying. You ask me where are the benefits of that. That's the benefit that I see.
Well, if they're getting more education and their net worth and their salaries aren't going up, I don't see any,
The
benefits for them.
actually African Americans earning have gone up in the past 5 years. So I
No,
mean,
I'm not saying male African Americans. I'm saying
not just
females.
Just African Americans in general. Our our
I
average
mean, I
income
can
has
look that
gone up.
up, but everyone's GDP has gone up this year. Most people have seen. I mean, this is a statistical fact. Most people have seen a raise, or the average American GDP per capita has gone up this year. That's all I'm going to put
Yeah,
down. This is
that's
a
because
fact.
minimum wage has gone up. That's
Okay,
all that
so
is.
I mean, most of these people, I mean, that's GDP per capita. That means
Hey,
the
baby
amount
girl.
of total money they're making. That means the median salary has gone up. People that are earning minimum wage aren't the median salary in America, so that
Yeah,
doesn't
but
correlate.
they make up about 25% of the income, and if there's a
It can
sweeping,
bring the income down, though. It can bring the median GDP down. You have a good point there. Okay.
What I'm saying is that if people are making minimum wage and there's a sweeping federal push to make every single last minimum wage worker make more money, then of course the average GDP is going to go up. That's just simple math.
But that wasn't happening under Joe Biden. But I don't. I know you're not a Joe Biden fan.
First and foremost, the actual the hiring of I'm sorry, the upping of the pay rate was done by Joe Biden. It took 3 years to come into fruition. So I mean,
I'll
listen,
fact check you on
listen.
that
I
one.
want you to understand something. I did
I'll
not
fact
vote for
check
Joe
you.
Biden. You
Did
know that, right?
Biden raise minimum wages? Is that what your claim is?
He's the one who put in during his presidency. He didn't do it per se, but during his presidency, that's when that was approved.
Let's see what ChatGPT says.
Just ask ChatGPT when were when was the bill passed to
Okay,
hire.
yes, President Joe Biden has taken steps to raise minimum wage in certain federal contexts, but he has not succeeded to increase the federal minimum wage for all workers. Here's what happened. Federal employees issued a directive that federal employees pay at least 15 an hour. I mean, most places are already paying 15 an hour. I think the legal minimum wage in Florida is 14 an hour, but
14
I
an
mean,
hour right now. Yes, sir.
I never seen anyone pay under like 15 or 16. But let's see what else. The federal minimum wage did not raise whatsoever. So it was basically all for federal employees and for federal contractors. So it was not for the average Joe. It was not for the man that was doing this or that. It was just for federal employees and federal contractors, which most of these people were already making more than 15
Yeah.
an hour.
I just
If
want
you
to I just want to clarify the fact that sir, I did not vote for Joe Biden. I
no, I
tell you
know.
I tell you all the time that I am for the most part I vote conservatively. I just can't vote for Trump. I'm sorry. He's too
Well,
divisive.
it doesn't matter if you vote for Trump. He's already president. But if
Yeah,
you
I
had to
mean
make a one-on-one comparison, this
he
would be a
he's
great.
hey, listen, I will say this to you again as I said in the past. His policies are amazing. Right now, what he's doing as far as creating separation within this country, it's not good. It genuinely is not good.
Okay,
A,
so let's
a
talk about.
president shouldn't be talking about left wing this and right wing that. He should not be doing that because
Well,
he's
Joe Biden
American,
did that. He put rhetoric towards MAGA quite
and
frequently.
he should not have done that.
Okay, so what's the difference then? Let me explain this to you. Do you call bringing Democrats, black, brown, white, all kinds of different people that ran against you into your political office and under your presidential administration, people that ran against you that were
Yes,
Democrats, that were black and brown, you brought them in and gave
yes,
them jobs. You call that
yes.
separation? That's separation of the country? Are
Hold
you
on,
kidding
hold
me?
on. He gave people who ran against him in the Democratic Party jobs. Where?
JFK, Tulsi Gabbard, many other people. There's
He gave them
people.
jobs.
Yeah, he put them in his cabinet.
Oh my God! And are they still there?
Yeah, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, they're all still there.
And first and foremost, everyone knows RFK Jr. is a red coat wearing a blue one.
Okay,
Everyone knows
okay,
that.
it doesn't matter.
Everyone
But
knows
the fact is,
that.
the fact
Everyone
is
knows
that
that.
we're not going to argue about that because this is not a JFK debate or an RFK debate. Sorry, but this is not an RFK debate. Because Tulsi Gabbard became a Republican. She didn't just become a Republican when Trump brought her in office. Not to mention all the other people that Trump brought into his
Listen,
office.
and this is why I do not agree with a two-party system at all. I
I
don't
don't
agree
agree
with
with
it.
the two-party system either, but I don't really think it's a good topic to debate on because it's never gonna we're never gonna get a third option. There's too much lobbying and such as that. There's never gonna be another option.
I say do away with it and just let the people choose who they want to be in the cabinet for presidency.
That's never gonna happen though. We can wish for that all the time we want, but it's never gonna happen.
Uh, it could happen if the American people forced it to happen. We
No,
control the
the
country.
average Americans don't have enough money to lobby for that or control politics on that level.
You don't need money to rally.
Huh?
You don't need money to rally.
Rallies do nothing. Peaceful protests have never changed how countries worked ever in history.
Oh yeah.
Ever.
Oh yeah. What about Martin Luther King?
Was that peaceful? Was all of that peaceful?
He was peaceful.
He was
Any rally
peaceful, but
that
were there violent incidences?
not from his party.
There. I mean, but there was violence. It was violence he was
Yeah,
fighting against,
because
and there was
it's
violence. No,
and
there
do
was
you
violence. I'm not saying it was wrong or bad, but the Black Panthers shot police. Different black people shot other people. I'm
Martin
not
Luther.
saying it was bad, right
Listen,
or
listen.
wrong.
I don't know how what type of education you have towards this, but Martin Luther King was not a part of the Black Panther Party.
No, I know he wasn't a part of the Black Panthers, but you're talking about the civil rights movement.
No,
We're talking about
I
the
said
entire
Martin
movement.
Luther King.
But did Martin Luther King change the whole country, or was it the civil rights movement?
It was the civil rights movement that changed the country, but the fact that he was killed the
He
way
was
that
the
he was,
leader of it,
the
but there
fact that he
was
was killed,
incidences of violence that changed the country.
the fact that he was killed as being a non-violent uh, antagonist, so to speak, when he was killed, it showed everything that is wrong with this country. Emmett Till.
Just like when Charlie Kirk died, it showed everything wrong with this country. And the fact that
Hey,
I was saying that Democrats did this and leftists did this, I don't know if you agree with that or not. Do you think leftists took Charlie Kirk's life? Do you
I think America did it.
So we're not going to blame the political party of hate and destruction and the man that openly said that his coworkers, his family, his best friend in high school all said he was the only Democrat in his family, and they all said that this man hated Charlie Kirk and
But
Donald
who
Trump.
raised him?
It doesn't matter about that. He was a grown ass man.
Oh, so so
A
the people who
grown
raised
man
you,
can make his own
so
decisions. His parents
so the
probably
people,
weren't perfect, but his
so
parents are obviously not where he got his political ideas from. He didn't get these political ideas from his parents. So, yes,
okay,
I do agree that his parents were probably not the
well,
perfect people if he
well,
turned out like that.
he
But once
probably
again,
learned
he was
he
22
probably
years old.
he
He was
probably
living
learned
on his own for
he
multiple
probably learned
years.
how to deal with his problems from his parents.
His parents never committed any violent acts. They have clean criminal records. What are you talking about?
Okay, now just because somebody doesn't go to jail for violence, that doesn't mean that
They've
they're
never
not
killed someone or murdered someone. Yeah, they have clean criminal records in that regard.
okay. But that
Do you
doesn't
have
mean
any
that they
evidence
wouldn't.
of anything?
That would not mean that they wouldn't get mad at somebody and punch them in the face. And
Okay, that's a different. I listen. If they
okay,
would have come up to
okay, all
Charlie
right,
Kirk
all right, all right,
and
all
punched
right.
him, that's fine.
Punching someone in the face is an act of violence,
Yes,
right?
but that is completely different.
So
If you
no,
want to
it's
get in a
not.
fade, that's
No,
completely
it's
fine
not.
with me. But an assassination is not cool whatsoever. That's fucked up. You
I
get
don't
to
think
walk
that is
away from
cool.
a fist fight. You don't get to walk away from someone fucking assassinating you like a bitch with a sniper.
Yes, but my point, what I'm making here is that he learned how to handle his problems from his parents. They
No,
taught
he
him that.
learned how to handle his problems, all his text messages, all his Discord messages,
Okay,
all his time
this is my question
online
to you. This is
quite
my question
clearly
to you.
showed you.
Which and once again, I do not resign to a party, but which party do you think is pushing for guns to not be controlled?
What party says they want gun control but is actively shooting people left and right? What party is that?
Thank you, God.
This man
Are
commits
you going to answer my
multiple
question?
state gun law.
Are you going to
Huh?
answer my question?
Does it matter if there's more gun control
Yes,
when
it
this man
does.
broke?
Because
He
the point
broke
that I'm,
state gun laws. He broke federal gun laws. He killed
and
someone.
he's
Those
a
are all
criminal.
crimes.
And he's a
All gun
criminal.
laws do is take
Sir,
guns
he
away from people
is
that need them, the law-abiding citizens, and gives them to
whoa,
criminals. Is that
whoa,
what you
whoa,
want?
whoa. No, in fact, no. No, I don't want that. I want us to be able to bear arms. But what we're arguing here is who raised that kid. And I'm stating
Do you think
America.
that everyone's parents are if someone gets radicalized by college, by their friends, by the internet, do you think that's their friend? Do you think that's their parents? You don't think people get radicalized by their friends, their family, to
So you
content
don't
they listen to online?
do you not think that if you come from a good home and a good support system and your parents teaching you that, hey, think for yourself and move the way that with respect and all these things being instilled in you from a young age doesn't carry over into your adulthood?
It does carry over the majority of the time, but people still get
So
radicalized. There's
so would
plenty
you
of incidences where people had great family, great homes. They were still radicalized by college. They were still radicalized by you
But at
know,
the end of the day,
friends, family.
if there was proper screening in order for him to get a weapon, he probably would have failed because he obviously was a
First
fucking
off, what
nutbag.
screening? How would he have failed? Can you answer that question?
So, do you know what a psycho eval is?
That's not a part of the. That's not a part of a thing that you fill out for a gun application.
Exactly, that's a part of gun control, though.
Okay, he could have passed that. It's not that hard to pass It's not hard to pass a test like that. I don't think he was psychotic. I think
You
he
don't
was
think
extremely politically
you don't think he was
deranged.
psychotic? You don't think he was psychotic? All right,
I
hold
don't
on.
think he was mental
Let
to
me,
the
because
point
I
where
don't
he
want to say
couldn't.
this.
I don't think he was mental to the point where he couldn't fill out a psychiatric form or some
So
shit like
you're
that.
gonna sit here and tell me that this man who is a transgender, essentially,
He was
isn't a
not a
psycho?
transgender. He dated a transgender. I would love to say he's a transgender.
And
I
okay, all
think
right.
transgender
If he
people
dated a
a lot of the
transgender,
time are delusional.
thank you. My point. It ain't good up there, my guy. It ain't good up there.
So me and you both agree transgender people shouldn't have guns.
Yes.
Okay, trans people could still probably file that little permit. They could probably do that mental evaluation bullshit. It's not that difficult.
Those
I
things are
would
pretty.
disagree.
Those
Sounds
things are
kind of
pretty.
psychotic. Okay, yes, he
Those things are
fits the
pretty good.
definition of psychotic. Does he fit the legal testing and framework of psychotic? Probably not. I mean, maybe if his lawyer will probably argue that he's
I mean,
mentally ill, and he'll
he
probably
killed
get him
he
off
killed
on the next
somebody in cold
cases.
blood. He killed somebody in cold blood and didn't have any remorse. That's pretty psychotic.
But people do that all the time, and then when they go to court, they get the death penalty because they're deemed not mentally insane. Both smoke salvia and then argue with each other.
That's
That's
pretty good.
fucked up. That's fucked up. Dude, if we were smoking salvia, we'd be screaming at the top of our lungs and hitting him in his face.
Look, man, I can honestly say I enjoy debating with you, but I cannot lie to you and say that I don't think that like you have such a strong bias to anything that isn't your way of thinking. And
Okay, you have a strong bias as well. We both openly admitted that we have our. Of course, everyone has their own bias. We both openly have admitted that. And I know you like debating with me, but I don't understand what rage baited you, quote unquote. What aggravated you to the point where you had to be like a keyboard warrior, dude? You act like a completely different person on here. You're a cool guy. You're a chill guy. You're respectful. But then
I
I
was
peeked your
as
Discord.
I told
I'm
you,
like, this guy's calling me all kinds of shit. Who the fuck is this dude? Who the
as
fuck
I
is this
told you,
guy?
as I told you, bro, in the chat, I'm gonna go crazy on you. I'm gonna go crazy on you, but I'm gonna have respect for you.
Why? You're just a
I'm gonna have.
keyboard warrior? At least come sock me in the face. Come find
Hey,
me
hey,
at
hold
some
up.
Fort
First
Myers,
and
Chicken
foremost,
Island.
I'm not gonna give you my underwear, and I'm not gonna come fight you. Okay, those are
Oh
two
my
things that
god.
are not gonna happen. By the way, that was a great episode. That was a fucking hilarious episode.
Oh, you saw that, right? You saw
Yeah,
that
yeah,
video I posted?
yeah. I saw it when it came out. It was fucking hilarious. The guy saying that he wants to fight you. He's like, I'm 5'7", and all of a sudden he's 6'1". It's hilarious. I thought it
Oh,
was
you're
fucking
talking
great.
about the YouTuber guy.
Hmm.
Oh, that YouTuber guy. No, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the video I just posted, which was MAGA redneck shows his no
That was
redneck
in the
shows his
same
MAGA
episode, was it
underwear.
not?
Huh?
When that was not the same episode when he pulls out the red, white, and blue underwear.
Maybe it was the same one. Maybe it was. Yeah, it was the same one. Yeah, that
That
was
was
funny
fucking
as fuck.
hilarious. That
Yeah,
was
that was
hilarious.
hilarious.
But hey,
Yeah.
listen, I'm definitely gonna come at you sideways.
All right, that's fair enough.
But as I told you, the simple fact of the matter that you what really pissed me off about that Charlie Kirk stuff was that you won't sit there and admit that he was bringing a lot of this stuff onto himself. You know,
I mean, I don't know how you can say that, man. That's kind of hateful. Like, what the fuck? Like, you could say, how would you feel if someone said that about Martin Luther King or said some shit about George Floyd? I mean, you'd fucking go off on him.
well, George Floyd, for one, he didn't deserve to die. But he
And neither
obviously,
did Charlie Kirk, but he was
yep, yep,
resistant.
yeah,
But
hey,
once again, Charlie Kirk having debates and have freedom of discussion, and like I said, let me ask you this question again, and then we can turn back into you know the whole Charlie Kirk thing. Do you think a racist person can turn their racism off, or do you think they're constantly like hating on a certain race or a certain ethnicity, or
They
do you
could
think
turn
they
it
can
off.
be? I don't think so. I mean, maybe they can turn it off for a minute. Of course, they have freedom of words, but do you think they can be consistently nice to a group of people that they're supposed to be racist against?
Absolutely.
I don't think so. I don't think that you can be
Absolutely.
nice to people just because you're making comments against DEI. I don't believe that makes you racist. You said from the
It's
start you
not the
don't think
comment.
I'm
It's
racist.
not a comment against DEI. If he would have simply
No,
said,
you've admitted it. I
if
appreciate
he
you
if
telling the
he
full context.
if he would have simply stated something like, DEI really can affect the actual qualifications of the people who are working, to specifically say that if I see a black guy, you're making it about race, and you
I mean, if
constantly
he
show,
said a
and there's
Mexican
so
guy, would you
many.
feel the same? Or what if he said a
Say
white
what?
guy? I bet if he said a white guy or a Mexican guy, I guarantee you we would not be having this
I
conversation
would
right
say,
now.
what the fuck are you talking about?
No, you would say nothing if he said if I
That
saw a
no,
white
that's
guy,
crazy.
he had a
That's crazy
DEI.
because No, that's crazy because I will sit here and have arguments with you. We've had debates in the past where I'm sitting there talking about how the Spanish people are being disenfranchised by this ice by the ice raids. 100%. If you're going into work, you're a legal citizen. Not a legal citizen. You're legally in this country at that point in time, and you end up getting snatched up in a raid.
Once
Like, that's
again,
not
what
cool.
legal citizens have been
There
deported?
have
But
been 4 cases of, look it
okay,
up,
give me
bro.
the names. I can break them
I,
down. We
I
can
don't I
discuss
don't I
them.
don't remember their names, man. But there's
Okay,
legitimately
there we
four.
go, man. So you're proving my
Listen,
point.
I don't
Let's
write
let's
down
focus
people's
back on the
names.
Charlie Kirk situation.
I don't write down people's
So
names,
you
bro.
think
I'm not doing that.
I understand you think you made you said the full context of the argument. I appreciate you not trying to clip something out of context. I appreciate you pointing out the fact that he was basically talking about DEI. But what you're forgetting to mention was that the reason he brought up black or brown people was because they're the ones that are mostly being discussed with this whole DEI thing. If he would have said white or if he would have said this or that, and maybe the plane thing wasn't a perfect example. Maybe he could have given a better example. But to say that this was blatantly racist, this does not fit my head whatsoever. Maybe it's not PC. Maybe
That's
it's not
because
politically
that's because
correct.
your bias will
Maybe it's
not
not a
allow
right.
you to.
Huh?
Because your bias will not allow you to. If there's a black man on TV speaking that way, you would be arguing, debating me how that was a racist thing that he said, just as you're saying that DEI
I
is a
would not
racist
be
thing. Because
arguing
it's
if there's a
because
black man on TV saying, "Oh, if I saw a white captain and they're hiring white people, even though they might not be as qualified as black people," then I would ask him, "Who the fuck is he to drive my plane?" I would not.
okay,
I would.
but see, the thing is, what if you're gonna say that if I see a black guy over there, what are you expecting to see? What does
Like I
that mean?
said, I don't really
But
think it
what
had anything to do with his
he
skin color. And let's just
in
continue.
fact,
If he
why
was really
wouldn't it have
racist,
anything?
can we move
Why
on to a
wouldn't it
second
have
talking
something to
point
do with his
that he
skin
ever
color?
said that
If
was racist?
Why wouldn't it have something to do with his skin color if he's bringing up the skin color? He's
Because
obviously
it's
talking about his
DEI. The
skin.
whole thing has to do with skin colors. You couldn't give a
Okay,
proper example without saying a black or
exactly.
brown man.
Eh, uh, Dude, I just gave you one. All you have to say is very simple. I think that DEI is allowing people who are not as qualified to get jobs.
But do
That
you think
simple.
that
That
talking point
simple.
has already been said a million times? Do you think what he said was, not very politically correct? It was more attention grabbing and it was more pushing a point across. It's like I can say something very nice and very PC, but is that going to get a lot of attention, or is it going to get a lot of attention when I, make a very
Okay,
rude
so okay, you
argument and
say this.
example?
Okay, but okay, you do something like that, you want to grab the attention of, is it the masses?
Yes,
And if
absolutely. He wants
okay,
to
all
grab
right,
the
so
attention
you're
of
gonna grab
masses,
the
and it's not
attention.
supposed to be a racial comment. To me,
Okay, but
something racist would be
what?
like this. Something. I mean, if it was a woman, and he said, "Oh, a woman couldn't drive my car," blah blah blah. Maybe you could say that was sexist. But when it's talking about something specific about DEI, where people are hiring people for a job, specifically for something that they're not qualified for, they might not have much experience as another person, then that would make perfect sense. Because when a woman drives your car, you're not hiring her if you say she can't drive it well. Which you call me sexist if you want. I think men are better drivers, but that's neither here nor
I
there.
think so. I will stand by that and say I think men are better drivers. But I've never gotten an Uber and been like, oh fuck, I got a woman driver. You know
I
what I'm saying?
have.
Oh,
Every single time I'm like, oh
hey,
fuck, here we
hey, and
go.
hey, that's on you.
But I'm also a person who's been in probably 5 or 6 car crashes, and somehow I didn't get majorly hurt ever. So
I mean, maybe you can drive 5 or 6. God
no, I
damn.
wasn't driving in. I mean, I was only driving in one of these car crashes. The other, 5 were someone else driving.
Okay, all right, all right. Man, listen, I want to have one last debate before I get up off of here. Oh, I'll let you have the air. What do you want to talk about?
I mean, I would love to, finish I would love to finish, the hateful quote unquote rhetoric topic of Charlie Kirk because I'm still
Okay,
yet to
okay.
find
So,
anything hateful. You agree that it's connecting to DEI. You have already established that was purely
no,
just an
I
example.
agree that that's a hateful statement. It's
But
based
do
in
you agree
race.
that maybe it wasn't purposeful and it was just for the statement of DEI?
Um,
Do you think it was just for the purpose of
so
making DEI
so
examples and that was maybe an accident or maybe it was not politically correct rhetoric or
I'm not
maybe
gonna let you lead me towards agreeing with you. So
I'm not trying to read you're not going to be
so
agreeing with me.
I'm gonna do
You can
this.
still
I'm gonna
say
do
it's
this.
hateful rhetoric. You can still
I'm
say
gonna
it's
do this.
hateful, but
I'm
you
gonna
can
do
say
this. All
that
right.
he wasn't,
That's
purposely
what
trying to be racist. But you can still say it's hateful.
I believe that it was racist. I believe the whole attack against DEI is a racist act because it does not want it wants to keep the white man at number one and everybody else can figure it the fuck out. That is what the fuck that's about. That is
Okay,
why
first
it's
off, I disagree
racist.
with you, but let me ask you this. Since you said anyone fighting against DEI
What?
is racist, or you said fighting against DEI is a racist act, if you're fighting
Yeah.
against DEI, it's racist.
Please don't say her name. Please don't say her name.
Whose name?
Go ahead. What you get
I
ready to
wasn't
say?
going to say Kamala Harris or anything like that.
Oh no, not her. But go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
wasn't
Go
going to
ahead.
say anyone's name. I was going to say
Okay.
since you said it's a hateful racist act, do you necessarily people can slip up and say hateful or quote unquote hateful racist things, or maybe they don't know the wrongdoing that they're doing. Maybe they just need to be corrected. Because at the beginning you said you don't think I'm racist, and I've multiple times told you that I don't agree with DEI. Do you think it's just racist to disagree with DEI, or do you think the person, example me or example Charlie Kirk, is racist?
Okay. So you in particular. Let's talk about you.
Okay.
Do I think you see color and does it guide your decision making? Yes. 100%. Do I think that you are a hateful person? That when you see me, you immediately think I hate this motherfucker. No, I don't think that either. But what I do think, deep down in my heart of hearts, that staunch Trump supporters, whether they be black, Hispanic, white, they believe that the white man is number one in
Holy
their mind.
fuck. That
In
is
their mind,
fucking mind
that's my
blowing.
belief. That's my
That is
belief.
fucking crazy, man. You started off this debate. I don't really think you believe that, man. I just think you have a thing against Trump. You started off this debate and you said, "Oh, I don't think you're racist. I don't think you're racist." But listen, this ain't a racist comment talking about racism and whatnot. But someone asked me in a super chat. They said you related to Too Short?
That's
Question
fucked
mark.
up. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Dude, I don't know how you feel about Bobby Spurter, but I kind of think that you kind of look like him.
Thank
But
you, thank you.
he's a handsome
That's more the
motherfucker. I won't
speed.
lie.
That
Bobby
that's
Spurter, he's a
that's
handsome
more the
dude.
speed. That's more the speed. 100%. I look. That's my twin.
I
That's my
saw
twin.
someone comment that. Sorry, he's a good-looking guy, but too short. He's fucked up. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. I don't think I look like him. But hey, it is what it is. I don't take things personal. But I mean, I
So you think
I
because
don't
someone
think you hate.
supports one politician or another, they think another racist is
No,
crazy?
no. I think that if someone can be a staunch supporter of Trump, where they can see him as somebody who does no wrong,
I
and
haven't met
with
anyone say that Trump has done no wrong, and I've never said that Trump has done
I've
any
never
wrong.
heard you say I didn't like that Trump did this.
I've
I've
criticized him in our last debate. Would you like me to continue to criticize him?
what did you criticize?
I believe I criticized him in the last debate because he was doing some shit with Israel, saying that he wasn't going to give the states their taxpayer disaster relief money if they boycott Israel. If a certain city boycotts Israel, a certain state boycotts Israel.
Okay,
But then
okay. I
but
didn't know
then
you
he
said that.
remanded that decision. He changed that decision within 5 hours. He didn't fuck up like that, but he's made other fuck ups before. Maybe he's a little bit of a cocky bitch. Maybe he's a dickhead. Maybe he's not the nicest
Yes.
guy. But do I think his policies are 100% better for America over Kamala
I
Harris's? Yes. I would love to tell
yes.
you how your
Yes,
life
but
has improved under Trump without you even realizing
I mean, listen. For one, I have said this and I will say it again. Overall, black and white, most of his policies I agree with. When it comes to the black and white of it, his delivering of his message, the way that he approaches people who do not look like him on a public standing, like he does it without conscious. He doesn't even realize he's doing it, and you can poke holes through it. And that is not something that a president does.
I agree with everything you just said, except the fact that you try to make it racial discrimination. I mean, Trump was known in the 70s and 80s to hang out in black communities,
And
and
he
with no
also freaking
security, with no
and
nothing.
he also
People
he
would catch
also
him. Sorry, go ahead.
he also freaking immediately expected that the five men raped a little girl, and in New York City, what's
Okay,
their
there was plenty of evidence and circumstances over that, and they literally confessed. When someone confesses to something,
you
wouldn't you?
but listen, I mean, we had a conversation about those times, and how the incarceration of black men still today is extremely disproportionate, and why and how they go about making that stuff happen is unbelievable. And there are plenty of people, white and black, who have had been forced to confess crimes that they did not commit, and those gentlemen
I
are
understand
the
that.
prime example of that. And it has been proven that that was
But to say he's racist when he's fought for some of his black friends that went to. Are you still there? Can you hear me? You still there? No, you're good. To say that he's racist because he said one thing about a group of criminals that were black, that happened to be black, that. Well, if you want to give me more examples, you can, but I can give you head to head examples of all black men that were incarcerated that were Donald Trump's friends, and he said they were innocent, they were wrongly convicted. He did his best to help certain people. I can give you examples of him giving black people business loans and not asking for any
pardons.
money back. I can give you examples of
He's
him
also
dating black
pardoned.
women.
He's also pardoning black individuals out of prison. Like, I understand that, but
He
that's all.
dated a
That's
black
all.
woman before Melania. I mean, I
That.
don't know
But listen,
how you can
like
put
that's
all these
holding
things
up
together and say he's racist because he
because
criticized some criminals
because
that were getting convicted that were
because
black. Okay, big
because
whoop.
when you call people monkey, when you say look at that black motherfucker,
He's never
things like
said
that.
monkey. He never said black
Hey man,
motherfucker. Where's the evidence?
run the tape. You need to
What
do
tape?
research on your boy.
Send me a
You need
link.
to do research on your boy. Okay, that's all I gotta say. All right,
Send a
listen.
link then. Send a link.
You
I'll
know
try
what?
to
I
look it
will.
up
I
right now.
will.
You're
I
saying he called someone
I
a
will.
monkey?
I will. I will. I will send you the links as soon as I put down this phone. All right. I got you. I got you.
From
No
my
problem.
honest understanding of talking with you, it just seems like, now don't get me wrong, I can understand how you can think this, man. I'm not blaming it on you or anything like that.
Yeah.
Some people just need to shift their mindsets and stuff. But it seems like to me that for the most part, you think, the majority of white folks are racists.
No, I don't. I don't feel that way whatsoever at all. Because if you actually knew me, you would realize that that's the furthest thing from the truth. Now, when I look at a man who is a leader and
I can't hear you. I think you muted yourself. I can't hear you. Hello? I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Nothing. Yeah, I can't hear him, guys.
call.
No, it's okay. I just looked up Trump calling black people that word that you said, and
Hmm.
the only thing I found was Ronald Reagan calling African diplomats monkeys to a call to Richard Nixon.
All right, boss. I'll find it for you and I'll send it to you, and then we can talk about it the next time we have a debate in a month or so.
All right,
But
man.
100%, if you did know me, if you knew me very well, you would know that I this country for
Okay, let's
black people to
rephrase the
be looked
question.
at differently.
Let's rephrase the question. Do you think the
What?
majority of white people are racist? Not all of them, but the majority of them.
No, absolutely not. I don't think the majority of white people are racist. No, I don't think
They
that.
want us to rap
I
battle.
think,
Someone dropped a super chat and said rap battle. I don't rap, my guy.
and that's what I'm talking about.
But
The
this was not a
majority
white
of
individual
America.
though. He was a
But look,
Hispanic
let
man.
me finish my statement.
Go
The
ahead.
majority of America, America is indoctrined in this oppressive nature towards the black male especially, and it's documented throughout the history. Like if you choose to deny it, it's because you have some type of
I've
wanting
never
of
denied it.
like for people make comments like, oh, racism isn't rampant, like, oh, you making comments like, oh, this DEI is allowing unqualified people to get jobs. It's like that's crazy to me because these people are obviously have had a hard time getting into these schools. Is the main reason why this thing
Okay,
exists.
because you had a hard
Well, let me
time
finish.
that
Let me
okay,
finish. Let me
continue.
finish. All right. Like the reason these things were put in so that they can go to school and become educated and get jobs and have a piece of paper that says, hey, I already know I know this, but now I went to school and I have the piece of paper that you said I could not get. Will you give me a job? And they tell the person no, and this is like, and now we're here in America, and you look around and you look at all these great black businesses that we have all these great black entrepreneurs who are able to network and build freaking empires within this country due to things like DEI. And if you think that it does not belong in this country, it's because you have some type of hatred for the fact that it allows people who don't look like you to get ahead of you. That's how I feel.
Okay, I understand how you feel, but can I talk my point now? Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
So let me say my whole statement. I got a lot to say. First thing, you've already conceded to the fact that maybe DEI is probably not the best practice in general. There's probably better ways to go about it. I mean, I don't know if that's fair to say, but you can comment on that after I'm done saying this. Second thing is, you said because someone went to college, that means they can work in that job in that industry and that they're fully qualified and yada yada. So does that mean if a black or a Mexican man goes to school for business that he can instantly, since he's qualified, he's educated, does that mean he has instantly the skills to open $1 million business? And second off, and I mean third off, final point is you even said yourself if the government didn't put a DEI that you'd prefer for businesses to run on a basis where you decide the judgment of their character and if they're qualified for the job. And also, you've already said that there's probably better practices than DEI. How can you say that there's probably better practices and maybe it's not the perfect way to go, and at the same time call anyone that disagrees with DEI racist or bigoted or whatever you want to say, prejudice?
Okay. So for one, what was the first one again?
That people that went to college, black, brown, whatever, Hispanic, just because you got a business degree does not mean you're qualified or you
Okay.
should be given $1 billion to start a business because you know exactly what you're doing. You're a full master in your field.
Okay. Of course not. I don't think that. I don't think that just
So that's
because you
for any
go
job, basically. Then you're not qualified just because you have a degree.
just because you get a degree. Absolutely not.
And
But when
also,
it
just
comes,
because it was hard for you to get into college, it's hard for everyone to get into college. For the most part, just
yeah.
because it's hard for you doesn't mean you
Uh-huh.
should be given special privilege. It's hard for everyone in one way or another. Maybe it's not racial, maybe it's financial, maybe it's personal reasons, maybe it's family issues. It's hard for a lot of people. That doesn't mean you should instantly be given special privileges. And also, like I
Okay.
said, you've admitted that you've conceded to the fact that maybe DEI isn't the perfect thing. Maybe it's not perfect, and maybe it's not the best practice, and maybe there's mistakes. You've basically admitted that some people. I'm not saying that you're conceding on your. I'm not saying that you're like saying DEI is bad, but you've conceded on a lot of major talking points saying that maybe some people that are barely getting into this industry are getting hired instead of people that have 20 years of experience. And I absolutely agree with the comments, a lot of you, but some of you are wackos. But if you have any questions, comments, drop some super chats if you have any good points on what we're talking about or any questions you want us to discuss. But go ahead and speak your part if you wish.
I actually just saw a comment here that says, "Oh my God, says you're racist and then asks for money. That's crazy. I've never been on Snap EBT as an adult. I've never applied for unemployment. I don't believe in reparations. See that's the rhetoric that this country has made people to believe. It's unbelievable. But we can continue. Like when it comes down to it, I don't think that somebody who goes to college immediately has the ability to do a job better than anyone else just because they went to college. I think somebody who goes to college shows that they have the ability to learn a craft, a discipline, whatever it may be. You have shown that you can learn it, and you can show that you do know how to do whatever it is that you've studied, that to a point that you can actually explain it in detail. Now, that is something that is very valuable in the workforce. Having someone who you can train and then they can immediately communicate it and be able to show you how it works, the ins and outs of it. That is extremely important. So if you are going to go to college, that is just going to help you get a job. Now, when it comes down to when I have said that DEI may not have been the best practice, I'm stating that there are obvious flaws within it. As you are saying, that the example that you made about the 100, which I honestly believe is a very bad example to use, that somebody won't be able to get a job when
But
they
it
have more
happens, especially
experience.
in very specific industries. But sorry to interrupt you. Continue.
Yeah, yeah. But just the way you put it, I understand that this probably is happening because of DEI. There are going to be situations that happen, but more than than that happening, it's like if people are dying of a certain thing, of a certain drug that you're giving to cure a disease, like you're willing to take the side effect if it's helping more than it's hurting. And that's why DEI is necessary. Can we work on it? Can we figure out where it's flawed and possibly create a program that's going to help fix that? You understand? Like, or even take some of the funds that you're delegating towards that towards helping the counter effort of it. There are different ways of going about something instead of having a vitriol and saying, "Oh, this person that's black or brown, it does not have the same qualifications as me," and and then scream bloody murder when a person is educated, like it, and has more experience than you, and say that it's because of DEI that they're in this situation, and that happens so much. And that's almost the argument that Kirk pushed. That's the rhetoric that he pushed. And the people who stand up and champion him, in my heart of hearts, it's not that they hate black people. They just don't want to see people who aren't white on top. And genuinely
So why?
speaking,
You haven't added anything up. You haven't added A to Z. We've already confirmed that Trump has done lots of things for black people. We've confirmed, haven't found any statements. We've confirmed multiple things. So why does a black man that supports Trump, which by the way I've been hearing from more and more people of color that the majority of them support, conservative values of
yes,
Donald Trump.
100%. I mean,
So
li-
why are they anti-black just because they're supporting a white man for president? You've admitted that he has great policies, great. He's doing great for the country. You've admitted it, but you
yeah.
said you don't like his rhetoric and the way he talks to people.
Yeah, I don't think that's presidential because it's causing divide, and that's something that you cannot sit here and act like isn't
But
happening
people,
to the point of radicalization.
no,
Like
it is happening.
we had a storming of our capital, and now an activist for the right just got killed in bloody murder. That is the nature of this country right now, and we need a leader who is going to try to bring us together.
But that's going to happen no matter what because they are triggered, they're rage baited, they are polarized by Donald J. Trump. It's not even necessarily about his politics. For Charlie Kirk, it was more about his actual politics. But Trump, I would argue that they are polarized by his public figure and his public appearance. How he's not PC. He'll say any shit whatsoever. He doesn't censor himself. He doesn't try to make shit sound more smooth. He doesn't try to, and it's the reason that he's quote unquote dividing people, which I've already argued he isn't, but the reason he is quote unquote dividing people is because these people hate him as a personality. The only way they're going to ever come down is if we get a PC liberal president that promotes transgenderism, LGBTQ, killing babies, abortion, gun control, whatsoever. We've seen this with every conservative president for the last 20, 30 years. They're always radicalized towards them. But Donald Trump is specifically special because he has very similar policies to even politicians like Bill Clinton or Barack Obama that were Democrats, yet
Yes.
people are a
Yeah.
hundred times more polarized with Donald Trump's deportation, quote unquote, no due process, even though he's following the federal law, than they were with Barack Obama's 3 million deportations, which 80% of them did not see any kind of immigration hearing or any kind of such thing as that. They're more polarized by Trump than they are Obama, even though Obama did way more deportations without due process.
I mean,
Sorry, you froze?
I'm sorry, man. I keep walking away from the doors because speaking loud and not trying to disrupt anybody. I'm sorry. Get get out of Wi-Fi. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I mean, I can agree that the way what you're stating is that people are polarized, and of course, when you're a figure like that, of course you're going to be polarized, and there's going to be people who love you, and of course there's going to be people who hate you. Like, and like, do you have an argument when we're speaking on DEI about an individual who comes in dressed sharp and speaking the right way, yet your president is swearing on the stand? Like, that's there's a
So because he
problem there.
uses curse words and foul language here to there, because that's
Yeah,
not politically correct, that's
but to
divisive and
also,
dividing.
but no,
The
to
lefties
sit there
cry
to
about
sit there
words
to
being
sit there to sit
violent.
there to sit there and say, oh, the left, oh, these idiots, this, that, and obviously you're going to be pissing people off, and then your
Well, good.
supporters.
I'm not trying to make them love me. I'm trying to get them to open their mind. I'm trying to. But when I
But
say stuff like that, when you see me calling these people
okay,
demon rats, that's
think about
me trying
this.
to grab their attention.
Imagine
And
imagine Barack Obama saying these Republicans, the
I mean, he
right,
did. So did
under
Biden.
office,
Yes,
under office,
Biden.
no, not
Biden
under
said
office.
many things about Donald Trump.
Biden,
Kamala
Biden,
Harris.
Biden, Biden, Biden was a huge mistake by idiots. I don't understand why we did that. Like, it's obvious the man wasn't fit to be in office. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't
What
even
about the NBA? What about that's a
I
funny
voted
comment.
I voted the Green Party that election because I couldn't stand to vote for either one of them, to be honest with you. But when you sit there and you're obviously being divisive and saying that these people should be smacked in the face, you're
Trump has never
initiating.
said that.
Oh my God, that's crazy, man.
You're quoting
That
multiple things. I've tried to Google every
all
single
right, man.
thing you
All right,
say
look,
Trump
look,
has said,
look.
and I have not found a single source for it. Okay, let's wait for him to try to find this. But if you guys have any comments, questions, anything you guys want to talk about, drop some super chats. Let me know what you guys want to talk about, what you want me to ask him. Just drop some super chats, guys. Drop a $20 super chat. I'll do 300 to 400 push-ups, guys. Let me know. Or if you have any comments, questions, let me know. Drop some super chats. Much appreciated. RIP.
So there's something here that says, and it's a video that says Donald Trump says he'd like to punch a protester in the face.
Send it to me. Open your minds. Guys, smash that like and subscribe button. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything you want me to talk about, drop some super chats. No, 3 to
All right, buddy.
400.
It's in
Not
your
3.
Discord.
Did you send it to me directly or did you send it to a.
I'll send it directly.
Okay. I'll pull it up and I'll talk about it. Let's see. Oh, by the way, if anyone wants to debate, talk, discuss, just let me know. Join the Discord, I mean. I'm looking. You sent it to me directly. I didn't get anything from you. Are you sure you sent it? You have to send it to my new account. You know it, right? Okay, now I got something. Let's play this.
That's in it.
Look, see, he's smiling. See, he's having a good time.
Stop folding that.
I love the old days, you know? You know what I hate? There's a guy totally disruptive, throwing punches. We're not allowed to punch back anymore. Oh, so that's the full thing. He's throwing punches at Trump. He's rioting in the crowd, and Trump simply said he'd like to defend himself. So we're taking things out of context.
I'm Faith. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. My daughter.
It's okay.
What's up now?
I loved it. I played the entire clip. This guy was throwing punches at Trump. He was rioting in the audience. He was screaming at him. He was
Yeah.
punching in the air. And
Yeah.
Trump simply
Protester.
said he'd like to defend himself.
He would like to punch him in the face.
Yeah, because the guy is punching at him. So you don't think
Okay.
it's right for
So
another man to defend himself?
a man that's on stage who's running to be the president of the United States. Actually, he was the president of the United States when this happened. The
Was he? Hold on,
president,
let me see.
our leader, our fucking leader, my guy.
I
Like,
mean,
do you
obviously,
understand?
people didn't have a problem with it. He got millions of more votes than Kamala Harris. If he wants to
And
defend
and and
himself,
and
I don't
sir,
care
and
if it's the
sir,
president.
and sir,
I
and
don't
the
care
best
who
part
it
about
is.
that is, I forgot that he even said that shit.
Here, let's play it again.
I wish,
Because
I
people are
wish,
saying I'm even taking
I
it from.
miss the old days.
Hey, let's play it again. Bye-bye.
I miss the old days. What old days you talking about, my guy?
He's having a good time. Oh, I love the old days, you know?
Mm-hmm. What
You know
days you
what I
talking
hate?
about?
There's a guy totally disruptive, throwing punches.
A
We're
protester,
not
my guy.
allowed to punch back anymore.
That's the
I love
leader of
the
your
old days.
country.
You know
The
what they
freedom of
used to do to
speech that you're
guys like
speaking
that
of, the
when they
freedom
would
to
punch like
rally,
this?
the
They'd be
10
carried out
command,
on a
not
stretcher.
10 commands, 10 bills, right?
Oh,
The
so
Bill
he
of
never
Rights.
even said he would punch him back. He said we're not allowed to do that anymore. But back in the old days,
He
he
said, I
would have
would
been
like
carried
to
out on a
punch him in
stretcher.
the face.
Huh?
He said, I would really like to punch that guy in the
No, he did
face.
not say that. Would you like me to play it again?
Play the whole thing.
Okay, I'll play the whole thing, start from the finish. Everyone listen very closely. Here, I'll even point it up at the screen so everyone can see. Hold the door. Bye-bye. Look, see, he's smiling. See, he's having a good time. Oh, I love the old days, you know? You know what I hate? There's a guy totally disruptive, throwing punches. We're not allowed to punch back anymore. I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. That's true. You know, I love our police, and I really respect our police, and they're not getting enough. They're not. But so where did he see that? I'm waiting. Where did honestly, I hate to see that. Here's a guy throwing punches, nasty as hell, screaming at everything else when we're talking. What did he punch him? Let's see. And he's walking out, and we're not allowed. You know, the guards are very gentle with him. He's walking out like big high fives, smiling, laughing. Like to punch him in the face. Okay, he did say it. He did say it. All right, it was at the end. It was at the end. But to be fair with you, the people that founded this country said way worse things. People that I mean, I didn't listen to the full
You got
thing.
you
I
gotta
was
get some
very at
makeup
the
right
end.
here.
People that founded
Get
this
some black
country, they
makeup right
said
here.
much worse things.
My
And if
boy,
you don't
just
believe another
get some
man,
eyeshadow. Get some
huh?
eyeshadow. Get some eyeshadow. Make two big circles, and then like a cherry or a strawberry, cause you a clown. Like
Hey man,
you
we're
a
not talking
clown
about
right now.
eyeshadow
Come
and
on,
shit.
man.
I'm gonna come on here as your favorite president. I'm gonna come on orange face paint. Orange face paint. You think I'm joking? I'm gonna come on orange face paint.
Hey, you do that, man. You do that. You do
It's
that.
gonna make a funny ass
Hey, I got a
episode.
question for you. I got a question for you because I do need to get going. I got to cook my kids some dinner. So the whole Drewski thing when he went whiteface, how you feel about that?
I think that shit is funny as fuck.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man.
but
Thank
but
you
if
so
it was the
much.
other way around, then you guys would be
You
freaking the
know
frick
what? You
out
know what?
about it.
See, the thing is, bro, like you look at something like fucking Tropic Thunder, right? We
Okay,
love
that's fair
that.
enough. You didn't complain about that. I'll give you
We
passes for
loved
that.
that, bro. We loved it because the execution was perfect. You understand? And it wasn't rooted in hate. And it was exaggerated. It definitely was exaggerated, but it was done in such a beautiful fashion to where you could appreciate it, you know? And a lot of times when the blackface was done in Hollywood, it was done in a way to make, I mean,
Fun of the people.
need I say more, like at the end of the day, if it would have to be done by the right person, you know what I'm saying? I would like to see it. In fact, I'm rooting for an influencer to knock that out one day,
So
please.
wait, you thought it was funny too?
I thought it was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing, especially the part where he goes, "Better go find something safe to do, boy."
When the black guy was walking by.
I thought it was hilarious, man, because
But
that's
wait.
that's
If Robert
America.
Downey Jr. did it under President Biden when cancel culture was at its
Oh my
peak.
God, that would not have flown. That would not have flown, bro. And
Okay,
I
so
mean,
it's in different time periods. It probably wouldn't fly so well nowadays if they did it, especially
I
after
mean,
the George Floyd situation.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Robert could pull that off. They would have snatched Iron Man right off the shelf. I
Well,
don't
yeah,
know.
for sure. Oh wait, here, let me ask you a question. What do you think about them replacing white superheroes with black superheroes? I mean, like, let me give you an example.
What
Like Captain
superhero?
America, making him black.
I mean, that was actually that's canon. So
I don't know about that, but let's take a what superhero is 100% white?
Winter Soldier, not Winter Soldier. Fucking the Super Soldier shit that he is. Fuck, what is it called? He
I don't know if it's
fucking.
canon or not, but let's
It is
pretend for a
canon. He
second.
became Captain America.
Let's pretend for a second that it was a superhero movie that was 100%. The comic book was a white man. Would that be okay for them to? Would that offend you or?
If Black Panther was played by a white man, I mean that would piss me the fuck off. I
Exactly.
mean,
That's how I
I
would
wouldn't
feel
go
if like
watch it.
Superman was played by like a Mexican man. Like that
I
would
mean,
piss me the fuck
Superman's
off.
white. Superman's
Exactly.
white.
So
I
we
mean,
agree then. Black people have really cool superheroes. Like what was that one guy that flew around on that thing? He could shoot electricity out of his hands.
that's every black superhero, man. Every black superhero got some type of electric
Pull
power.
over now. What are you doing, Mr. Electric? I think it was something like that.
Static Shock. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh yeah, I think it was Static Shock.
Animated?
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
watching
yeah,
that. That was like in the early 2000s,
yeah.
I
Yeah, Static
believe.
Shock. That was the shit.
Yeah, that shit was
Superheroes.
badass. But like, I don't think they should make Static Shock white. That would fuck it up.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, the only time it, the Captain America thing is that's canon. They shouldn't. I don't think they should have made a movie out of it. And I went to go see that movie and I hated it. So it is what it is. I don't think that it's that big of a deal. I think if there's like Tarzan should be black. I think.
Okay, that is something extremely fucking controversial. I know a lot of white people were thinking that. I will admit that. I know a couple white people. We've had this conversation before. They're like, okay, we should not switch them, but you know who would make sense?
I
I
think
swear I
Tarzan.
was thinking it,
I,
but I was not the one to say it.
I think Tarzan should be black. Like that. I think that should happen. But like the Captain America, we know Captain America's fucking the white guy. That's the real Captain America. Like we all know that.
There's so many good ideas. Like we just said, Tarzan. Me and you have thought about this. So many people have thought about this. But at the
Like
same time, they're using white superheroes and turning them black. Like, bro, that's some racist shit right there. That's Hollywood,
hey,
trans, LGBT,
Little
literal
Mermaid, Little
bullshit.
Mermaid, Little Mermaid. I'm not gonna lie. Second one was a little bit better, though. I'm sorry.
Wait, was there a black character in Little Mermaid, the second one?
Yeah, they made it live action,
Wait,
and
that
she's
one woman, I forget her name. The one, she has like that kind of, nappy hair. She has like long curly hair. She's like a, I forget the name of her.
I'm terrible with actresses'
But
names,
yeah,
bro. Like
she
I'm
actually
terrible with
she
that stuff.
she was kind of purple in the cartoon. I could see her. I could see her being played by a black woman.
I know what you're
She was
talking about.
purple. She was like a bluish purple color. She was a fish. I think she was a squid or something.
Oh man, yeah, yeah. That boy just digging
Haley
the shovel.
Bailey Ulsa. Yeah, that's the name of it. Ulsa. Her name is Ulsa.
Yeah.
Ariel,
Oh
no,
man.
I can see Ariel being black too, but I don't think it would go too good. They could make Ulsa black though.
Yeah, the Ariel. Yeah, they made her black.
Oh, they did make her black.
Yeah, they made her black. I'm not gonna lie. The live action was much more entertaining for me. I'm sorry. The
I don't
animated
know.
is the
I'm not really a
classic.
fan of live action, but maybe one day I'll see
The
it.
animated, that's like the one out of all the Disney's. Like the Lion King sucked. But we're getting way off topic. And plus, I gotta go cook my kids some dinner.
All right. Have a good night, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man. Of course.
Peace out. If anyone has any final questions, topics before I hop off here, let me know. Drop some super chats. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that debate. I hope you had a lot of fun there. And yeah, if you have any final questions, topics, anything you want to talk about, drop some super chats. Andrea, Burnell, Gear Jammer, who else is in here? I'm just saying hello to everybody. Lunchbox, how's everyone doing out there? Happy Saturday night. Let's get to 200 likes, guys. Smash that like button. What effing debate? I mean, that was a debate. You'll debate me next time? Join my Discord. Let's debate. What's up, fellow Patriot? Hello. Smash that like and subscribe button, guys. Smash that like and subscribe button. No shout out for who? If you want a damn shout out, drop a super chat. Smash that like button. Let's get to 200 likes, guys. Vance 2028. I prefer Trump, but I would take Vance. You just finished a 9-hour study session. Congratulations. Well, if I kicked you from Discord, it was probably because you weren't following the rules and regulations. Hey, thank you, Gear Jammer. I think I feel a bit better now. Do I truly believe everything I'm saying? Yeah, it's common sense. It's the truth. He just had a slightly different perspective than me, but we pretty much agreed on everything other than the fact that I believed DEI was racism and he didn't. But other than that, we both agreed that it's not the best program for the country. We both agreed that, there's better ways probably to stop, systemic racism in the country than DEI because it's just bullshit. We both agreed we rather hire people based on merit for our company. He'd rather not be forced to hire a white man. I'd rather not be forced to hire, a bunch of people that aren't qualified or don't have as much experience as another person. If you don't know what DEI is, you've probably been living under a rock for the last 5 years, and don't worry about it. Peace out, Burnell. Have a good Saturday. Oof. Vance is a rather good-looking man. Well, I appreciate you guys for joining on. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll debate anyone. Just join my Discord or message me on Discord. Thank you, Daniel. Oh, yeah, everyone, I just released a hilarious video. Redneck Redneck shows his MAGA underwear. Come on. It doesn't matter if you hate Trump or love Trump. Go check out this video. Redneck shows his MAGA underwear. I promise. It's a lot funnier than the title. It doesn't matter if you hate Trump or love him. Please go check this out. Drop a comment. Slap that like and subscribe button. Thank you, man. I'll take it easy. I'm going to take some medicine here and I'm going to hop off. But I'll probably be back in an hour or two to debate. It is hilarious. It is hilarious. I'm still laughing thinking about the video where the redneck shows his MAGA underwear. Sorry, Eric, if you're still watching, but that was fucking hilarious. That was so hilarious. I'm probably going to end this live stream just to watch it again. But if we have any final questions, comments, anything you guys want to talk about for 10 or 15 more minutes, drop a super chat. If not, I'll be back in a couple hours here. Get some rest. Absolutely. Thank you, Trinity. Pretty good debate. I'm glad. We don't disagree on so much stuff, really. That's the crazy part. Why are you promoting against your own interest? I have no clue what you're talking about. You mean, why am I letting people of both political opposition come on my channel and talk and debate and discuss ideals? I'm sorry, Democrats don't like that. They just like to assassinate people that, have opposite political beliefs than them. But that's not what I do here on this channel. I'm trying to create unity. I'm in the Discord, guys. I've already talked about Fuentes a million times. I don't feel like talking about him. But I'll give you guys 20 seconds. If anyone has any final questions, anything you want to talk about, drop some super chats. We can talk about whatever you want. If not, you got 10 seconds. Everyone have a great Saturday night, great evening. Slap that notification bell. Check out that hilarious video I posted about Redneck showing his MAGA underwear. It gets a lot funnier as you watch. It's just a 3-minute clip. And peace out, guys. Peace out.